Stop. This message is not for everyone. I want you to understand that before we go any further, the title of this video told you something true, something that most people will scroll past and never receive, not because they are less loved, not because they were not considered, but because this specific word was prepared for a specific person, and that person is you, the one who stopped, the one who, for reasons you may not be able to fully explain, could not keep scrolling when this appeared, the one who is reading these words right now, in this moment, with the particular weight of the particular thing you have been carrying. This word is not for the person who has it figured out. It is not for the person who is managing just fine tonight. It is not for the person who will smile and move on to the next thing without needing to hear what this word carries. It is for you, specifically, pointedly, urgently for you, because there is something in your situation right now, tonight, that made the one who prepared this word say, "This specific person needs this specific word at this specific moment, and I am going to make sure it reaches them." It reached you. Type only in the comments if you know this message is for you. Not for everyone, only for you. Just that word. Because the naming of what is happening, the recognition that you are specifically found, is itself the beginning of receiving what was sent. In the ancient word, the scriptures speak of a God who does not operate in generalities, who does not send out a word like a broadcast signal and hope it lands on whoever happens to be receiving. Who chooses, specifically, deliberately, with the full knowledge of what is needed and by whom and when, to speak a specific word into a specific situation at the specific moment when the hearing of it changes everything. A God who parts the sea for one people, who shuts the mouths of lions for one man, who opens one womb when the season of waiting has gone on long enough to be a miracle. A God of the specific, a God of the exactly right person at the exactly right time. My precious child, you are tonight's exactly right person, and this is the exactly right time, and the word that was prepared for you, and not for everyone, specifically for you, is the word that I am carrying into this night for the one who cannot keep scrolling. I want to say one more thing about the title of this message before we go any further. This video is not for everyone, only for the one who needs it now. I want to talk about the word now, because now is not a small word in this context. It is the most important word in the title. There is a kind of word that is for any time, a general truth, an always applicable principle, a wisdom saying that is relevant in any season, for any person, without reference to the specific quality of the specific moment. That word exists, it is valuable, but it is not what was sent to you tonight. What was sent to you tonight is a now word, a word with urgency attached to it, a word that was prepared not just for you in general, but for you in the specific condition you are in right now, the condition you went to bed in last night, the condition you woke up in this morning, the condition you carried through the day, that led to the evening, that led to the late night, that led to the pause, that led to this video. The now of your situation, the specific quality of what you are carrying tonight, that is different from what you were carrying 6 months ago, or will be carrying 6 months from now. The now word arrives now. It does not arrive early. It would not have the same force 6 months ago, when the need was not yet fully formed, and it does not arrive late. There is a window in which the word does exactly what it was sent to do, and that window is now, because the need is now, because the preparing and the carrying and the shaping of the one who is receiving it is at the specific point of readiness for this specific word. The appointment of the now word arrives now. You are in the now of this word. This is your time. This is the window. And staying open to it, the staying you are doing right now, is the act of faith that receives the now. I want to take a moment with what it means to receive a now word, because the word now carries something that other words do not carry. It carries urgency. It carries precision. It carries the sense of being at a specific address, at a specific moment. The way a letter delivered by hand carries a different weight than a letter that goes through the general post. You can feel the intentionality in the delivery. A general word says, "This is true always." A now word says, "This is true for you, specifically tonight." And the difference between those two is not a small difference. The general truth is like sunlight. It falls on everyone. It is available to everyone. Its falling on you is not a statement about you particularly. It is simply the nature of the sun. The now word is like a hand on a shoulder. It is directed. It has an address. It is not available to everyone at this moment in the same way. It was placed specifically on the specific shoulder of the specific person in the specific need. I want you to feel the hand on your shoulder tonight. Not the general sunlight of the always applicable truth, though that is real and beautiful and sustaining in its own way. The hand on the shoulder, the specific contact, that this is for you, the I am here with you specifically. The turning of the face from the general toward the particular, and the saying of the particular one's name. Your name is being spoken tonight in the now, not in the past, the when you were younger name speaking, not in the future, the you will be spoken to when the season is better. Tonight, now, in the specific seasons, with the specific weight, in the specific enclosed space, or the specific last meal calculation, or the specific Lodabar hiding, or the specific bent double condition, or the specific between appearances waiting. Now, the name is being spoken now, and the speaking of the name in the now is the beginning of the receiving that this specific now requires. That is what the now word is. It is not, here is some encouragement, apply as needed. It is, the one who prepared this word knows what is needed now, in the specific now of your specific situation, and the word was shaped to fit that specific now the way a key is shaped to fit a specific lock. And when the key fits the lock, it opens something. The now word opens something. Something that the general word, though true, cannot open, because the opening requires the specificity, the fit, the key in the lock precision of the specifically prepared word for the specifically needed moment. The key is in the lock tonight. The opening is beginning. Stay. My beloved, I want to take you tonight into 5 stories, 5 moments in the ancient record, where the one who sees everything selected a specific person, in a specific condition, at a specific moment of urgency, and spoke, appeared, provided, healed, or sought them out, not because this person was the most powerful, or the most polished, or the most together, but because this person needed it now, not eventually, not when things settled down, now. And the nowness of the need was the specific signal that drew the word to this specific address. These stories are not for everyone tonight. They are for you, and by the time the 5th story ends, you will understand something about your own situation that you did not understand when you began. The 1st story takes place in a place of hiding. His name was Gideon. He was not yet a warrior. He would become one. By the end of his story, his name would be known as the man whose 300 men, armed only with trumpets and clay jars and torches, routed an enemy camp too large to count. But that is the end of the story. The beginning of the story finds him somewhere else entirely. He was hiding. I want to take a moment with the hiding before we get to the angel, because the hiding is where this message finds many of the people it was sent to. The winepress is not just Gideon's condition, it is a condition. The condition of the person who has learned to do the necessary work out of sight because doing it in the open has been unsafe. The person who has learned to make their effort below the level at which the raider can see it. The person who has had enough taken from them that they have gone underground, not to escape the work, but to do the work where the taker cannot reach. The winepress is not a giving up, it is a surviving. Gideon was not in the winepress because he was lazy or faithless or defeated. He was in the winepress because the ordinary, open, above-ground way of doing the work had repeatedly resulted in everything being taken. The Midianites came every harvest, not once, not twice, every harvest. As soon as the grain appeared, the enemy appeared and stripped it. And the response to my work is always taken when I do it in the open, is not a character flaw. It is adaptation. It is the wisdom of the person who is trying to preserve just enough to keep going. My precious child, if you have been working underground, if the condition of your season has produced a below-the-surface quality to your effort, if you have learned to do what you do quietly, without the visibility and the recognition that should come with it, if you have become very good at the winepress work while the threshing floor has been unsafe, the word tonight is not a rebuke for the winepress. It is the angel appearing in the winepress. The word finds you where you are, not where you should be. The appearing happens in the actual location, not the ideal location. And the word does not say, "Get out of the winepress, and then I will be with you." It says, "The Lord is with you, in the winepress, now, and then, go in the strength you have." The strength you have is winepress strength. The strength developed below the ground, in the hidden, in the survival work, in the below eye-level effort. That strength is the strength you are going to go in, not the strength you will have after the season improves. The strength you have right now, tonight, developed in this season. The word says he was threshing wheat in a winepress, not in the threshing floor, where wheat was normally threshed, where the open wind could catch the chaff and separate it from the grain, where the work was done in the open air, in the open day. He was threshing wheat in a winepress, enclosed, underground, or at least lower than the ground level, hidden from view. Why? Because he was hiding the grain from the Midianites, who had been raiding the land and taking everything the Israelites produced. Every harvest, the enemy came and stripped it. So Gideon had taken his wheat to the winepress to thresh it in secret, in the dark, in the hiding, so that this small amount of grain could be kept for his family. He was doing the work of survival in the only way he knew how to do it, in a condition of fear and concealment and quiet, grinding determination to hold on to just enough to keep going. He was not on a mountaintop. He was in a winepress. He was not leading, he was hiding. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him, not to the commanders of Israel, not to the priests, not to the visible leaders of the visible institutions, to Gideon, in the winepress, in the hiding. The Lord is with you, mighty warrior. My precious child, I want you to feel what was happening in that moment. The angel appeared to the man in the winepress and called him something he was not yet visibly being. Gideon was a hider in a winepress. The angel called him a mighty warrior. Not what he appeared to be at that moment, what he was, what he had been made to be, what he was going to become when the word he was hearing fully landed in him. The word sees past the winepress to the warrior. The word sees past the hiding to the one who was made to lead. The word does not look at the external condition, the enclosed space, the concealment, the fear-driven secrecy, and conclude that this is who Gideon fundamentally is. The word looks at the person underneath the condition and names what it sees there, and what it sees there is mighty warrior, even in the winepress, even in the hiding. Gideon answered the angel with exactly the objection you might expect from a man in a winepress. Pardon me, my lord, but if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? Where are all his wonders that our ancestors told us about? But now the Lord has abandoned us and given us into the hand of Midian. My beloved, do you hear the question? Not just the words of it, the condition underneath it. This is the question of the person who has been told their whole life that God is present and powerful, and that his wonders follow his people, and who has lived through a season so contrary to that promise that the question comes out not as theology, but as pain. If you are with us, why has all of this happened? Not an academic question, a question from inside the winepress. And God did not answer the question, not directly. He gave Gideon an assignment instead. Go in the strength you have and save Israel out of Midian's hand. Am I not sending you? The assignment was the answer, not the explanation. The sending was the response to the why. Because the why, the question from the winepress, cannot be fully answered from inside the winepress. It can only be answered from the other side of the obedience. From the place where the strength that was already there has been used, where the sending has been accepted, where the mighty warrior has left the winepress and become what the word in the winepress called him. My dear one, this word is for you in your winepress, not for the person who is already out of it. For you in the hiding, in the secret work of survival, in the enclosed space of the season that has been going on too long, and that has generated questions from a place of pain rather than a place of academic inquiry. The angel of the Lord appeared specifically in the winepress, not to the general population of Israel, to the one man who was in the specific hiding that matched the specific word. You are in a winepress. The word found you there. And the word that found you in the winepress calls you something you may not yet be visibly being, but it is what you are, and it is what you will be demonstrably on the other side of the sending that this word is carrying. I want to stay with Gideon for a moment longer before we move to the second story, because what happened after the winepress encounter tells us something important about the way the specific word of the specific appointment works in the specific person who receives it. Gideon's first response to the angel was the question from the winepress. If the Lord is with us, why has all this happened? A question that comes from the accumulated weight of a long, hard season. And the response was not an answer to the question. It was an assignment. Go in the strength you have. Gideon's second response was to ask for a sign. He said, if I have found favor in your eyes, give me a sign that it is really you talking to me. Not please answer my theological question. Not I will believe when the situation changes. Give me a sign that this encounter is real. and God gave him the sign. The angel touched the meat and bread with the tip of his staff, and fire flared from the rock and consumed the offering. And then the angel of the Lord disappeared. And then Gideon built an altar. He called it "The Lord is Peace." In the winepress, in the middle of the fear, in the season of the Midianite raids, he built an altar, and he named it after the peace of the Lord. Not after the victory that was coming, it had not come yet. Not after the deliverance, it had not happened yet. After the peace that was present in the encounter, the peace of the one who appeared in the winepress and said, "The Lord is with you." My precious child, you may not be able to build a stone altar tonight, but I am asking you to name this moment, to give this encounter a name. Not the name of the victory that is coming, not the name of the deliverance that you are still waiting for, the name of the peace of the one who appeared in your winepress tonight. The peace that is present in the now, not after, now, in the specific hidden season, in the enclosed space, in the middle of the questions from the winepress. The Lord is peace. That is what Gideon named the altar, in the middle of the condition that had not yet changed. And that naming of the peace was the preparation for the going. The altar came before the battle. The peace came before the victory. The encounter in the winepress was the foundation for everything that followed, not after the situation improved, but in the middle of the Midianite raids, in the middle of the winepress season, in the middle of the now. Go in the strength you have. Am I not sending you? The second story takes place at the very edge of the very last thing. The prophet Elijah had been traveling. God had sent him away from the brook Cherith, where he had been sustained by ravens bringing bread and meat, because the brook had dried up in the drought. And God's instruction was specific. Arise, go to Zarephath of Sidon, and dwell there. I have commanded a widow there to supply you with food. I have commanded a widow there, a specific widow, in a specific city, with a specific instruction that God had apparently given to her before Elijah arrived, though the word does not tell us how or when. God had spoken to this widow ahead of time, prepared her ahead of time, set her aside in some way that the text does not fully explain, to be the specific provision for the specific prophet at the specific moment of the specific need. Elijah arrived at the city gate. He saw a widow there, gathering sticks. He called to her, "Please bring me a little water in a jar so I may have a drink." As she was going to get it, he called, "And please bring me a piece of bread." She said, "As surely as the Lord your God lives, I don't have any bread, only a handful of flour in a jar and a little olive oil in a jug. I am gathering a few sticks to take home and make a meal for myself and my son, that we may eat it and die." This is the last meal. This is not a metaphor. This is the literal, specific, physical reality of a woman who has calculated the remaining flour and the remaining oil and has determined that there is exactly enough for one more meal. After this meal, there is nothing left. She and her son will eat this last meal, and then they will begin the process of dying that the famine around them has been moving them toward for a long time. She is gathering sticks for the fire to cook the last meal, and a stranger at the city gate asks her for water and bread. Elijah said to her, "Do not be afraid. Go home and do as you have said. But first make a small loaf of bread for me from what you have, and bring it to me, and then make something for yourself and your son. For this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says: the jar of flour will not be used up, and the jug of oil will not run dry, until the day the Lord sends rain on the land." She went away and did as Elijah had told her. And there was food every day for Elijah and for the woman and her family. For the jar of flour was not used up, and the jug of oil did not run dry, in keeping with the word of the Lord spoken by Elijah. My precious child, I want you to sit in the timing of this. God did not send Elijah to the widow before the flour was almost gone. He sent Elijah at the moment when she was gathering the sticks for the last meal. The timing is not a coincidence, and it is not a failure of earlier provision. It is the specific precision of the word arriving at the specific moment of the specific need. The last meal was the moment when the provision arrived, not the meal before the last meal, when there was still some buffer. The last meal when the buffer was gone, and what remained was only the meal itself. My beloved, if you are at the last meal moment, if what has been sustaining you has been running down in a way that feels like you are calculating what remains and finding that the calculation ends soon, this word was sent to you at this specific moment, not before, now. The jar of flour was going to last until the rain came. But the word about the jar of flour arrived at the moment of the last meal, not earlier. The provision and the word about the provision arrived simultaneously, at the exact last moment, because that is the moment the appointment was kept for. She was gathered at the city gate with sticks, and a stranger arrived at exactly that moment, because God had commanded a widow at Zarephath, and she was the commanded one, and the appointment kept itself at exactly the moment it was needed most. I want to say something about what it means that God told Elijah, "I have commanded a widow there to supply you." He told Elijah before Elijah arrived that the provision had been prepared. Not that Elijah would have to find provision, not that Elijah would have to work it out, that the widow had already been commanded. The provision was already in place before Elijah got there. The word had already been given to the widow, though we are not told how, whether in a dream or a still small voice or an impression so specific she could not ignore it, before Elijah arrived at the gate to ask, "My precious child, the provision for your situation was spoken into place before you arrived here tonight, before you found this video, before you knew you needed this specific word at this specific moment. The commanding happened before the arriving. The word went ahead of you to the place where the provision was being held, prepared it, set it in order for the moment of your coming, and now you have arrived, and the provision that was commanded ahead of your arrival is available, not will be, is." The widow did not have to generate provision. She had to receive instruction and obey. She had to make the bread for Elijah first, the act of faith that opened the flow of the already prepared provision, and the already prepared provision appeared in the act of faith. The flour was in the jar before the bread was made. The oil was in the jug before the fire was lit. The provision was already commanded and ready. The making of the bread made it visible. Tonight, the act of faith that is receiving this word, the act of obedience that is staying when you could have scrolled, is the making of the bread. The provision that was commanded before you arrived is being made visible by the staying, by the receiving, by the willingness to take this word and let it work in you the way the oil worked in the jug. Always enough, always still there, always not run dry. Do not be afraid. The flour will not run out. The oil will not run dry. There is enough, not just for tonight. The word says the flour was not used up and the oil did not run dry until the day the Lord sent rain. Not just for one day, until the rain came. The provision lasts until the season changes, until the rain that ends the drought arrives, and the rain is coming. The season of the drought will not be permanent. The Elijah who came in the drought was the same Elijah who later prayed 7 times for rain and saw the cloud the size of a man's hand appear on the horizon, and the rain came and was abundant. The drought had a specific end, and the provision was commanded to last exactly until that end. I want to take you now to a place called Lo-Debar, which means no pasture or nothing, a name that tells you what it was, a desolate place, a place of absence, a place where nothing much was happening. Before I tell the story of Mephibosheth, I want to tell you the story of Jonathan, because David's question, "Is there anyone left of the house of Saul to whom I can show kindness for Jonathan's sake?" is a question rooted in a covenant, and the covenant matters to understanding why the invitation to the table was sent to Lo-Debar. Jonathan and David made a covenant. They made it when the situation between David and Saul was becoming dangerous, when Saul had turned against David and Jonathan knew it, when Jonathan's own father was trying to kill the person Jonathan loved as his own soul. And in that context, Jonathan and David made a covenant that went both ways. David promised that when God gave him enemies on every side, he would not cut off his kindness from Jonathan's family forever. And Jonathan made the same promise to David, a covenant of mutual kindness, a covenant that looked into the future and said, even when one of us is gone, even when things have changed, even when it is no longer convenient or politically advantageous to show this kindness, we will show it. Jonathan died on Mount Gilboa, the same day as Saul. He died before David became king. He died before the covenant could be fully lived out in the external world. And David became king. And years passed, and David was establishing his kingdom. And one day he asked, "Is there anyone still left of the house of Saul?" He was remembering Jonathan. He was looking for the one to whom he could give what the covenant had promised. Not because there was anything in it for him, because the covenant said this was what was right. Because Jonathan was gone, and the kindness that was owed to Jonathan could now only be shown to Jonathan's son. My precious child, there is a covenant. There is a love that was spoken into existence before you knew you needed it. a promise that was made before the situation that made the promise necessary had fully developed. The kindness that is being shown to you tonight, the specific, searching, is there anyone kindness, is the kindness of a covenant. Not a kindness that was offered because you earned it, a kindness that was sealed before you arrived. A kindness that went looking for you in Lo-debar because the covenant required it to find you. The invitation to the table is not an afterthought, it is the keeping of a promise, and the promise was made before the lame feet and the Lo-debar years. The promise was made in love, by the one who knew that you would need the table, before the circumstances that made the table necessary had happened. The covenant predates the condition, and the covenant is why the invitation reached Lo-debar. There was a man living there, named Mephibosheth. He was the son of Jonathan, the grandson of King Saul. He was 5 years old when his nurse picked him up and fled with him when the news came that Saul and Jonathan had been killed. And in the fleeing, she dropped him, and he was lame in both feet from that moment forward. And he lived in Lo-debar, in the place of nothing, in the hiding, because people with a claim to the previous royal line lived carefully during the reign of the new king. There was always the danger that the new king would see them as a threat, would eliminate the previous dynasty to secure his own. Mephibosheth lived in Lo-debar, lame, obscure, gone from the sight of the court, hoping not to be noticed. And then one day a servant named Ziba was summoned to the king. The king was David, and David asked, "Is there anyone still left of the house of Saul to whom I can show kindness for Jonathan's sake?" Not a general announcement, a specific question, a searching question. A question that goes looking for the hidden, the forgotten, the overlooked. The king of Israel sat on his throne and asked, "Is there anyone?" Not, "Are there great men in the house of Saul, men of standing and visibility and influence? Is there anyone?" The smallest word, the most open possible question, anyone. Is there anyone left who needs the kindness? And Ziba said, "There is still a son of Jonathan. He is lame in both feet." And David said, "Bring him to me." They brought Mephibosheth from Lo-debar. And when Mephibosheth came to David, he fell face down and paid his respects. And Mephibosheth said, "What is your servant, that you should notice a dead dog like me, my precious child, a dead dog?" That is what the hidden man in Lo-debar thought of himself. Not a threat, not a person of standing. A dead dog. The self-understanding of the person who has been in the place of nothing long enough to internalize the nothing. Lo-debar does something to the person who lives there. It speaks its name into the one who stays. You are nothing. You are in the place of no pasture. You are lame and obscure and forgotten, and it is better for everyone that you stay here out of sight. And David said, "Do not be afraid, for I will surely show you kindness for the sake of your father Jonathan. I will restore to you all the land that belonged to your grandfather Saul, and you will always eat at my table. Always eat at my table." The hidden man in Lo-debar was brought to the king's table, not as a guest at a special occasion, always. The lame man from the place of nothing became the man who ate at the king's table every day, with the king's sons, as one of the king's own. "My beloved, there is a table with your name on it, and the king has been asking about you. Not, is there anyone notable? Is there anyone?" And your name was spoken. And the invitation was sent to Lo-debar, to the place where you have been living in the hiding, in the place of nothing, in the self-understanding of the dead dog who is better off staying out of sight. The invitation reached Lo-debar. The messenger was sent to exactly the place where you are. "Do not be afraid. You will always eat at my table. My precious child, I want to sit with the question David asked for a moment. Is there anyone still left of the house of Saul to whom I can show kindness for Jonathan's sake?" That question changes everything about the Mephibosheth story, because it reveals the nature of the seeking. David was not asking whether there was anyone in the house of Saul who deserved something, not anyone who had earned a position at the table, not anyone who had distinguished themselves, not anyone who had visible standing or visible ability or visible usefulness to the court. He was asking whether there was anyone to whom he could show kindness, for Jonathan's sake, not for the person's own sake, for the covenant's sake, for the sake of the love David had for the person's father. Mephibosheth had done nothing to earn the invitation. He had nothing to bring to the table. He was lame in both feet. He had been living in Lo-debar. He had been surviving in obscurity. The question was not, is there anyone good enough? It was, is there anyone I can be good to? And the answer was yes. There is a son of Jonathan. He is lame in both feet. Even the description of his condition was included in the summons. "Is there anyone?" "Yes, and he is lame." And David said, "Bring him to me, not bring me the one who can walk. Bring him, the lame one, the one in Lodabar. Bring him specifically to the table." My dear one, the king is not asking whether you are good enough to come to the table. He is asking whether there is anyone he can show kindness to. And the answer that your name produces, yes, there is one, and they are in Lodabar, and they have been through what they have been through, and they are carrying what they are carrying, and they are as lame as they are, is not a disqualification. It is the specific description that matches the specific invitation. Bring that one. That is the one. That specific condition. That specific hiding. That specific Lodabar. That is the address the invitation was sent to. He found you. He is asking you to the table. Come. This message is not for everyone. It is for the one who has been in Lodabar, the one who knows what it is to live in the place of nothing and to have internalized the nothing, the one who would have described themselves, if asked, the way Mephibosheth described himself, a dead dog, the one the king was specifically looking for. He found you. He is asking you to the table, and the table has your name on it, not provisionally, not conditionally, always, every day, with the king's sons. If you are still here, type Amen. Because staying is the response of the one who knows this word is for them, the one from Lodabar who received the summons and came. Not Gedadumist. The fourth story takes place in a synagogue, on an ordinary Sabbath day, when Jesus was teaching. I want to notice something about the setting before we get to the woman. The synagogue, the place of the regular gathering, the weekly assembly, the ordinary faithful routine. The woman has been coming to the synagogue for 18 years in her bent double condition. We can reasonably assume this, because the word says she was in the synagogue on this Sabbath, and the practice of Jewish life was regular weekly assembly. She has been coming to the synagogue, in her condition, for the length of the condition, doing the ordinary faithful thing week after week after week. And nothing had changed. Week after week of the assembly, and the condition remained. Week after week of the word being read, and the prayers being prayed, and the Torah being taught, and the community gathering, and she was still bent double. 18 years of the ordinary faithful thing with no visible change. I want to say something careful here. I want to say, the ordinary faithful thing was not wasted. It was not wasted even though nothing appeared to change for 18 years. The faithfulness of the coming, the decision, week after week, to show up in the bent-down posture and do the ordinary thing, was the faithfulness that placed her in the synagogue on the Sabbath when Jesus was teaching. The faithfulness brought her to the location where the calling would happen. The years of ordinary faithful coming were the preparation for the specific ordinary Sabbath when the specific extraordinary calling happened. You cannot know which ordinary faithful day will be the day of the calling. You only know that the calling, when it comes, will find you in the place where the ordinary faithful work of showing up has put you. The woman was in the synagogue because she always went to the synagogue, and on this specific Sabbath, the one who was teaching stopped his teaching to call her forward. Not because this Sabbath was different from the other Sabbaths, but because he was there, and he saw her, and the 18 years of ordinary faithful presence had kept her in the location where the seeing could happen. My precious child, the ordinary faithful thing you have been doing, the showing up, the practicing, the coming to the assembly even in the bent-down condition, the choosing to be present even when the presence is in a condition that is not what you hoped for, is not wasted. It is the thing that keeps you in the location where the calling happens. You cannot know which ordinary day is the day of the calling. You only know that the calling finds the one who was there. There was a woman there. She had been bent double for 18 years. The word describes her condition precisely. She was bent over and could not straighten up at all. 18 years of this. 18 years of looking at the ground, of seeing only the floor, of moving through the world at a level below the eye level of everyone around her, of having to tip her head awkwardly to see anything above the ground. 18 years. She was in the synagogue. She was not there to be healed. She had been in the synagogue presumably many times before, over 18 years, and had not been healed in those many other synagogue visits. She was there to worship. She was there in the ordinary place, doing the ordinary faithful thing, bowed as she always was, looking at the floor as she always did. And Jesus saw her, in a crowded synagogue, with people standing and sitting in the way of people in synagogues. With the teacher teaching and the congregation listening, Jesus looked across the crowd and saw her, not the religious leader who challenged him afterward. not the people who were most visibly present and responsive. The woman who was bent double, whose condition made her the least visibly present of anyone in the room, whose very posture put her below everyone else's line of sight. Jesus saw past all the upright people to the bent double woman, and he called to her. He did not wait for her to come to him. He called to her, "Woman, come forward." And she came, and he said, "Woman, you are set free from your infirmity." And he put his hands on her, and immediately she straightened up. My precious child, I want you to feel the specificity of the calling. Jesus was teaching. There were people to teach. The teaching was the purpose of the assembly, and in the middle of the teaching, his eye went to the bent double woman, and he stopped the teaching to call her forward and heal her. Not because she had raised her hand, not because she had asked, not because she had pushed her way to the front. She was in her place, bowed as she always was, doing the ordinary faithful thing, and he called her. I want to stay in the not asking for a moment. She did not ask for healing. She had been bent double for 18 years. The word does not tell us she asked for healing, approached Jesus, petitioned the elders, put herself in a position to receive. She was simply there, in the synagogue, doing the faithful thing, in her condition, as she was. And Jesus called her. There is a kind of healing, a kind of divine appointment that comes to the person who is not asking, not because they have given up on asking, but because they have been bowed down for so long that the asking has become exhausted, or because they are simply there, faithful, present, in their condition, doing what they know to do even though the condition has not changed, and the word comes to them not in response to their petition, but in response to the seeing. He saw her. That is the activating verb. He saw her, and the seeing of her in her condition was sufficient to produce the calling. She did not have to ask. She did not have to make herself visible, which would have been difficult from her bent double posture. He saw her in the crowd. He saw specifically the bent double one, and the seeing produced the calling. My beloved, you may be in a season where the asking has gotten quiet, where the prayers that used to be articulate and active have become more like a condition than a petition, more like the posture of the one who is just trying to stay faithful and present, even in the bent down, than the confident request of the one who is expecting imminent response. That is not a failure. That is the condition the woman was in, still there, still faithful, still in the synagogue, not absent even in the bending, and the seeing found her anyway. The seeing is not waiting for the asking to be loud again. The seeing finds what it sees, and what it saw in the synagogue, that Sabbath was the woman who had been faithful for 18 years in the bent-down posture, who was still there, who was still in the assembly, who had not let the condition keep her from the ordinary faithful presence. And the calling was the response to the seeing of the faithful in the bending. 18 years she had been bent double, and he healed her on a Sabbath, in a synagogue, in the middle of a teaching, by calling her specifically by name, woman, and speaking her freedom directly into her condition. My beloved, there are people in the assembly tonight who are in better visible condition than you, who are more upright, more visible, more apparently doing well. And the word tonight went past all of them to find you, the bent double one. The one who has been in this condition for longer than should be required. The one who did not expect to be specifically called in the middle of the ordinary faithful thing. Who came to this video the way the woman came to the synagogue, to worship, to receive whatever was being offered generally, not expecting a specific personal call, and then your name was called. Woman, the specific address, not the congregation, the bent double one. You are set free from your infirmity, not eventually. 18 years of eventually had already passed. Now, on this Sabbath, in this assembly, at this moment when you were not specifically expecting to be the one called, but were the one called nevertheless, the bent double woman straightened up and praised God. The healing was followed immediately by praise, not by asking whether it was real, not by checking whether the synagogue leader approved, not by waiting to see if it lasted. She straightened up and praised God, and the straightening up and the praise happened in the same movement. The healing and the gratitude were simultaneous, because when the thing that has been bent for 18 years straightens up, the gratitude is not a decision, it is the body's natural response to moving the way it was designed to move. I want to notice what happened after the healing. The synagogue leader was indignant. He said to the people, "There are 6 days for work, so come and be healed on those days, not on the Sabbath." And Jesus answered him, "You hypocrites, doesn't each of you on the Sabbath untie your ox or donkey from the stall and lead it out to give it water? Then should not this woman, a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan has kept bound for 18 long years, be set free on the Sabbath day from what bound her. A daughter of Abraham, that is what Jesus called her. Not the sick woman, not the bent double woman, not the woman with the infirmity. A daughter of Abraham. He gave her a covenant identity, the same covenant identity that Mephibosheth's invitation to the table was based on. She is a daughter of the covenant. And therefore the Sabbath, the day of rest, the day of freedom, the day that commemorates the liberation of God's people, is exactly the right day to set her free. Not the wrong day, the exactly right day, the day that was designed for the kind of freedom she was being given. My precious child, the day of your freedom may look to some people like the wrong time. Too soon, too unexpected, the wrong circumstances. The synagogue leader thought it was the wrong day, but Jesus named it as the right day, the most right day possible. The day of rest, the day that commemorates liberation, is the day liberation happens. And tonight, the night of rest, the night of the word being received, is the night of the beginning of the straightening, not the wrong night. The night of the covenant identity of a daughter of Abraham, or a son of Abraham, who has been kept bound for long enough and is now being set free on the day of rest. You were designed to move upright. The thing that has been bent for the length of time it has been bent was never supposed to be permanent. The calling of your name tonight is the beginning of the straightening. And the straightening is followed by the praise, which is already happening in you, whether or not you can fully feel it yet, because the body knows how it is supposed to move and recognizes when it is being freed to move that way. The fifth story takes place in a room, a week after the most important event in human history, and it exists specifically because one person was not in the room when the event first happened. His name was Thomas. He was one of the 12. He had been with Jesus through all of it. The 3 years of teaching, the miracles, the raising of Lazarus, the entry into Jerusalem. He had been there for all of it. He had not been in the upper room on the evening of the first day of the week when Jesus appeared to the 10 who were gathered together. I want to begin by noticing what Thomas did in the week between. He stayed. He did not leave the group of disciples. He did not go back to his fishing boat, the way Peter had momentarily gone back to his fishing after the crucifixion. Thomas stayed in the group. He was there the week later when Jesus came back. He had not given up on the company, on the community, on the practice of being gathered with the others. He had been honest about his doubt. I will not believe unless, but he had not been absent from the ordinary faithful gathering. Thomas was the doubter who stayed, who remained in the company of the believing community, even in his own doubting, who did not remove himself from the table of the gathered ones just because his faith was not yet at the level of the others, who continued to show up for the gathering even in the week when he was not fully believing what the others were saying they had seen. This is the Thomas faith, not the triumphant faith, the staying faith, the I will not believe, and yet I will still be here faith, the faith that cannot yet receive the testimony of others, and yet does not use the inability to receive as a reason to stop showing up. And Jesus came back to the room where Thomas was staying, because Thomas was staying. My precious child, you are staying tonight. You are here, in this video, in this hour, even if there are parts of the believing that are still in the week between the first appearing and the second. Even if there are parts of your faith that are in the Thomas position, honest about what they do not yet have, honest about what they need before they can fully receive, and yet still staying, still showing up, still in the room. That staying is enough. It is the faithfulness that Thomas showed in the week between, and it is the faithfulness that the second appearing was arranged around. Jesus came back to the room where Thomas was staying. The appearing will come to the room where you are staying, and the staying, tonight, in this hour, with whatever faith you can bring to it, is the preparation for the coming back. He was one of the 12. He had been with Jesus through all of it. The 3 years of teaching, the miracles, the raising of Lazarus, the entry into Jerusalem. He had been there for all of it. He had not been in the upper room on the evening of the first day of the week when Jesus appeared to the 10 who were gathered together. We are not told why Thomas was not there. The word does not explain his absence. He was simply not there when Jesus appeared. The other disciples told him, "We have seen the Lord." And Thomas said, "Unless I see the nail marks in his hands, and put my finger where the nails were, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe." This is the statement of the one who needed specific personal proof. Not general testimony. He had general testimony. The other 10 had told him. The general testimony was not enough. Thomas needed personal encounter. He needed to see for himself, touch for himself, be personally present for the thing that had happened in a room he had not been in. A week later, his disciples were in the house again, and this time Thomas was with them. Though the doors were locked, Jesus came and stood among them, and he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here, see my hands. Reach out your hand and put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe." Jesus waited a week. He could have appeared to Thomas sooner. He could have appeared to Thomas alone, at Thomas's specific location, the same way he appeared on the road to Emmaus and to Mary in the garden. He waited a week, and then he appeared in the same room with all the disciples at the specific time when Thomas was there. The second appearance was scheduled for Thomas, not for the 10 who had already seen and believed, for the one who had missed the first appearance and who had named the specific thing he needed to receive his own faith. And Jesus appeared to provide the specific thing that the one specific disciple had said he needed. "Put your finger here, see my hands." The exact words Thomas had used, "See the nail marks, put my finger," were the words Jesus used in the invitation to Thomas. He had heard Thomas, he had noted the specific thing, and he came back to provide it. My precious child, Thomas is often spoken of as a failure of faith. But I want you to see Thomas differently tonight. Thomas is the one who was honest about what he needed. He did not pretend to a faith he did not have. He did not perform a belief for the benefit of the others. He said, "This is what I need to believe," and Jesus came back specifically to provide it. Specifically, not dismissively. "Come on, you should just believe." Specifically, "Put your finger here, see my hands, put your hand into my side." The specific need of Thomas produced the specific provision of the second appearance. If Thomas had not been absent from the first appearance, the second appearance would not have happened. If Thomas had not named the specific thing he needed, the invitation to touch would not have been offered. Thomas's specific doubt produced the specific encounter that gave the church the specific testimony of the one who touched the risen Jesus and believed. My beloved, the thing you need to believe, the specific thing you have been holding out for, the specific proof that your own particular doubt requires before faith can fully land, has been heard, and the appearance is being scheduled, not around the specific thing you need, around it, including it. The Jesus who waited a week to come back to Thomas with exactly the invitation Thomas said he needed, is the same Jesus whose word tonight is scheduled for you, at your specific hour, carrying your specific invitation. I want to spend more time with Thomas, because Thomas is often dismissed, made into the cautionary tale of the doubter, the one whose faith was insufficient, the weak link in the chain of the 11. And I want to argue the opposite tonight. Thomas may be the most important witness of all. He was the only one who was honest about what he needed. The other 10 received the appearing. They saw and believed. Their faith was produced by the encounter. They were not more faithful than Thomas before the encounter. They were simply present for it. Thomas was not present. And Thomas, being honest, said, "I was not there. The others have told me. The others' testimony is not sufficient for me. I need to see and touch for myself." This is not weakness. This is the particular quality of Thomas's faith, the faith that requires personal encounter, that cannot be fully produced by second-hand testimony, that needs to be in the room itself, present for the thing itself. Some people receive faith by hearing. Some people receive faith by encounter. Thomas was an encounter faith person, and Jesus came back for the encounter faith person. He did not come back saying, "You should have been there. Why weren't you there? Why can't you believe like the others?" He came back saying, "Put your finger here. Here are my hands. Here is my side. Receive the encounter that your faith requires." And the result was not only Thomas's faith. The result was Thomas's testimony, the most specific testimony in the resurrection account. Not, "I was told and I believed. I was there. I saw. I touched. Put my finger where the nails were." The most physical, the most evidential, the most empirical testimony. The testimony of the one who needed to touch and touched. My precious child, if your faith is an encounter faith, if the hearing has not been sufficient, if the second-hand testimony of what others have received has not been enough for you, if there is something specific you need to encounter for yourself before your faith can fully land, that is not a deficiency, that is the specific quality of your faith that Thomas shared. And the Jesus who came back for Thomas's specific quality is coming back for yours. The appearing is being scheduled. The encounter that your specific faith needs is being arranged. And when it comes, the testimony you carry out of it will be the most specific, the most grounded, the most unassailable testimony of all, because it will be the testimony of the one who needed to touch and touched. Stop doubting and believe. not because belief is easy and doubt is wrong, but because the word that was sent tonight was sent to your specific address, at your specific hour, carrying the specific invitation to the specific kind of encounter that your specific faith needs in order to land. He came back for Thomas. He sent this word for you. Note is here. And before I bring these 5 stories together, I want to say what they all have in common that goes deeper than what is visible on the surface. None of the 5 people were in the center. They were all, in different ways, on the periphery of the camp, of the city, of the court, of the congregation, of the room. Gideon was not at the threshing floor. He was in the winepress. The widow was not in the center of Zarephath. She was at the city gate gathering sticks. Mephibosheth was not in Jerusalem. He was in Lodebar, which means nothing. The woman was not at the front of the synagogue, the visible, the upright, the hearing. She was bent double at the back or the side, below everyone's line of sight. Thomas was not in the room. He was somewhere else, the absent one, the one who missed the first appearing. Periphery, edge, out of the center, not the main character in the obvious story that was being told. And in every single case, the word went to the periphery. The angel appeared at the winepress, not the threshing floor. The command had gone to the widow at the gate, not to someone in the center of the city. David's question was searching the periphery. Is there anyone left? Anyone who might be forgotten? Anyone in Lodebar? Jesus called across the room to the woman who was bent too low to be at eye level. Jesus came back a week later, specifically when the absent one was present. The word tonight went to the periphery, not to the person who is at the center of things, who is in the main story, who is visible and upright and in the room for the first appearing. To the person at the edge, the one in the winepress, the one at the gate with sticks, the one in Lodebar, the bent double one, the absent one. This is where the word goes. This is where the appointment is kept. Not because the center is less loved, but because the center is visible and the periphery is not, and the word does not allow the unseen to remain permanently unseen. The seeking always finds the edge. The calling always goes to the bent double one. The commission to the widow came before Elijah arrived. The question, is there anyone, goes looking until it finds the one in Lodebar. You are at the edge tonight, and the word found you there, not despite the edge, at the edge. And all 5 of these people, Gideon in the winepress, the widow in Zarephath at the last meal, Mephibosheth in Lodebar, the bent double woman in the synagogue, Thomas in the room after the week, all 5 of them received what they received at the specific moment when they most needed it. Not a moment before. The angel appeared in the winepress, not the week before when Gideon might have been less afraid. Not a meal before the last meal. Not to a visitor in Lodebar, to Mephibosheth by name. Not to the synagogue in general, to the bent double woman, specifically called. Not to the 10 who were already believing, to the one who had stated his specific need. And the receiving in all 5 cases was specific to the condition, not a general upgrade of circumstances, a specific provision for a specific condition. Gideon in the winepress received a calling, a sending, a new name, not an immediate end to the Midianite raids. He had to go. He had to lead the 300. The provision was matched to the condition. The widow in Zarephath received sustained flour and sustained oil, not a miraculous appearance of a full pantry. The provision met the need precisely, without surplus and without shortage. Mephibosheth received the table, not restored strength in both feet, not the restoration of everything Saul had and lost. The table, what was needed for the Lodebar person who had been in the place of nothing. The bent double woman received the straightening, not a transformation of everything else in her life, not a change in the circumstances that produced the condition, the specific healing of the specific condition. Thomas received the specific appearing, not a general sense of peace, not the testimony of the others suddenly becoming sufficient. The specific appearing that addressed the specific need Thomas had named. The word that is not for everyone is precise. It does not give more than is needed. It gives exactly what is needed. It arrives at the exact moment of the need, in the exact form the need requires, at the exact place the need is located. No waste, no general broadcasting. One person, one need, one word, one moment. This is the word that was sent to you tonight. Precise, specific, calibrated to your exact need, in your exact condition, at your exact moment. Not a general blessing, a precise word for a precise situation. And the proof of the precision is that you know, in whatever quiet way the knowing comes, that this is for you. not because you were told to feel that, because the word arrived at the address that matches your need. This message is not for everyone. It is for the one who needed it now. And the proof that you are the one who needed it now is that you are here, reading this, in the specific hour of your specific now, with the specific weight of the specific thing you have been carrying. The appointment was kept. The word arrived. You were the one. Share this with one other person, one person in your life who you know has been in their winepress, in their lo debar, at their last meal, bent double in their synagogue, absent from the room and needing to be found at the next appearance. Send it to that one person before you sleep. Because this word was not only for you, it was sent through you. You are not only the Thomas who received the specific appearance, you are also the Philip who carries the word to the next chariot on the next road. But first, come into the rest of the one who was found tonight, the rest of the one who the word was specifically for, the rest that is available on the other side of the specific receiving. My dear one, before I take you all the way into the rest, I want to speak about what it means that these 5 stories, the winepress, the city gate, lo debar, the synagogue, the upper room, were not for everyone. They were not general announcements, they were specific encounters. Gideon's winepress encounter was not broadcast to all of Israel. It was between the angel of the Lord and one man, in one hidden place, at one specific hour. The widow's provision was not given to all the widows of Zarephath. One widow, specifically, was commanded. The question, is there anyone, found one answer, not many. The calling in the synagogue was not all the sick people stand up, woman, come forward. The appearing for Thomas was not another general appearing to the gathered church. It was the specific appearing in the specific room at the specific time when the specific person who needed it was present. This is the nature of the word that is not for everyone. It does not arrive as a broadcast. It arrives as a call, a specific call, a name-specific call. The angel knew Gideon by name, knew his location, knew the winepress. The command had gone to one widow by name, in one city, at a specific gate. David asked the question with one specific name in mind, Jonathan's name, and it produced one specific answer, the son of Jonathan, lame in both feet. Jesus called woman. The word he used is not a dismissive address, but the word used for someone specific, known, seen. And Jesus said Thomas's name. Put your finger here, Thomas. The word that is not for everyone always comes with a name attached. And tonight, my precious child, the name attached to this word is yours. I cannot say it out loud in the way that the angel of the Lord said Gideon's name, or the way David asked for Jonathan's son by the covenant of their friendship, or the way Jesus said woman to the bent double one. But the one who prepared this word said your name when he prepared it. And the word arrived at your address because the name on it matches the address. Your name is on this word. This message is not for everyone. It is for the one whose name is on it, and you are reading it, which means the delivery was successful. Come into the breath now. The breath of the specifically found. In, slowly, receiving what was sent specifically for you. Out, slowly, releasing the weight of the not yet known, the carrying you have been doing in the winepress, the survival mode of the enclosed season, in and out. The breath of the one who has been called forward and has stood up straight. Let the body receive this position of rest. The winepress does something to the body, the enclosed posture, the hidden work, the constant low-level vigilance of the person who is not sure when the raider is coming next. And the bent double does something to the body too. The posture of the condition shapes the body around it, and the body that has been bent double for 18 years has learned to hold itself in the bending. And lo debar does something to the body, the posture of the hidden, the lame, the one who has learned not to expect to be summoned. Let the body leave all of those postures now, not by effort, by permission. Permission to release the winepress posture of the enclosed, vigilant, below-the-ground worker. Permission to release the bent double posture of the 18-year condition. Permission to release the lo debar posture of the one who expects to remain in the place of nothing. Permission to release the Thomas posture of the between week, the waiting in the honest doubt. These postures have been serving the conditions they were developed for. They have been faithful to the seasons they were shaped by. And the seasons are turning. The winepress encounter has happened. The command has been given to the widow. The invitation has been sent to lo debar. The calling has gone out across the synagogue. The appearing has been arranged for the one who stayed. The postures that were faithful to the conditions that produced them can now release, because the conditions are in the process of changing, and the body can begin to hold itself in the posture of the received rather than the posture of the condition. The posture of the received is open, not braced for the next thing. Open, palms up, shoulders down, face forward, at eye level, looking at what is ahead rather than at the ground. The posture of the one who has been called out of the bent double and has straightened up and is now moving through the world at the level they were designed to move at. Let the body hold that posture now, in the rest, shoulders back, chest open, face forward. Even if the eyes are closed and the body is settling into the rest of sleep, the internal posture can be the posture of the received, the posture of the upright, the posture of the one who was specifically found on this specific night. Let the body leave the winepress now. Not forever. Tomorrow the day begins again, and with it the ordinary requirements of the ordinary season you are in. But for these hours, the winepress is not where you are. You are in the rest of the received. The word has arrived, the angel has appeared, the assignment has been given. And between the giving of the assignment and the beginning of the carrying of it, there is rest. Gideon received the word in the winepress, and then God told him to go. But the going was not that night. There was a night between the winepress encounter and the battle. And what happened in that night was important. Gideon built the altar. He called it "The Lord is Peace." He named the encounter. He anchored the received word in a physical act. He said, "This is where the word came, and I am building a marker here, so I remember." And then he went inside, and he slept. The night before the battle was a night of sleeping, not a night of planning the battle, not a night of preparing the strategy, not a night of reviewing the numbers and calculating the odds, a night of sleeping. And in the sleeping, the word that had been received in the winepress was settling into the person who had received it, becoming part of the confidence that the next day's going would draw on, becoming the foundation of the strength he was told to go in. The sleeping was the integration of the word. My precious child, tonight is your night between the winepress and the battle. The encounter has happened. The word has been received. The angel has appeared and called you something you are not yet visibly being. And the night that follows the encounter is not the night of the strategy and the planning and the calculating. It is the night of the sleeping, the night of the altar, the night of naming what happened and then resting in the having received. The going is for tomorrow. The strength you have is being settled and integrated and established through the sleeping. Sleep now, and in the morning, go in the strength you have. There is a night between your encounter and whatever comes next, and the night is for rest, for the integration of the received word, for the sleep in which the assignment settles into the person who received it. Sleep now, and in the morning, go in the strength you have. Let the shoulders come down, the winepress shoulders, the shoulders of the one who has been working in the hidden, in the enclosed, in the below-the-surface season. Let them drop away from the ears. Let the weight of the hidden work leave the shoulders for these hours. The grain is threshed, the flour will not run out. You do not have to carry the weight of the managing tonight. Let the chest open, the breath filling the chest fully, not the half breath of the person who is still in the enclosed space, still slightly holding the breath in case they need to be quiet, still keeping the lungs at partial capacity in case full breathing would give something away. Full breath. The winepress is not tonight's location. You are in the open air of the received, and the breath can be full and deep and unmanaged and completely safe. Breathe into the belly that has been holding the anxiety of the person who is calculating how much is left, the flour, the oil, the resource, the energy, the time. Let the belly receive the full breath, and on the exhale, let the calculation go. The jar will not run out, the jug will not run dry. The calculation was based on the resource as it existed before the word arrived. The word changes the calculation. What appeared to be the last meal is not the last meal. The provision is in motion. The belly does not have to hold the anxiety of the not enough anymore. Let it soften. Let it receive. Let the mind go to the table. Not the winepress, not Lodabar, the table. The table Mephibosheth was invited to, always, every day, with the king's sons. The table he could not have imagined from Lodabar. The table he had no reason to expect an invitation to. The table that the king's searching question produced an invitation to. Even though Mephibosheth had no standing, no strength in both feet, no resources, no claim except the claim that the king's love for his father Jonathan produced. You have that claim tonight. The love of the king for the covenant of the father. The invitation to the table, not for one night, but always. And the table tonight is the table of the rest, the table of the received word, the table spread in the night for the one who was brought from Lo-debar. You are at the table now. Eat, rest, stay. Let the Lord bless you and keep you. Let his face shine on you tonight, the face of the one who saw the bent double woman across the crowded synagogue, the one whose eye goes to the hidden one, the bent one, the lame one, the one who was not in the room when the first appearance happened, the face that shines toward the one who needed it most. That face is turned toward you right now, shining, and you can rest in the shining of it. The face that shines. I want to stay with this image for a moment, because it is the precise opposite of the face of the winepress. The winepress is dark, hidden, below the ground, the face that is turned down and away from the light to avoid being seen, the face that has learned to stay beneath the line of sight of the ones who would take what is being worked for, the face of the one whose survival depends on not being noticed. The face that shines on you is the opposite of all of that. It is visible, turned toward you, openly bright, the face of the one who is not hiding the fact of his attention from you but showing it, shining it in your direction, making it unmistakable, making it the brightest thing in the room of this night. You do not have to wonder if you are being seen. The face is shining. The shining is the evidence of the seeing. The light is aimed at you, specifically, the way the angel of the Lord appeared specifically in the winepress, where the specific man was. You are being seen right now. Not generally, specifically. The face that shines is shining in your specific direction, toward your specific face, into the specific dark of your specific winepress, into the specific enclosed season you have been in. And the shining is not waiting for you to leave the winepress first. It entered the winepress. The angel appeared in the winepress. The shining comes to where you are. Let it shine on you now. Let the face that turned toward the bent double woman across the crowded synagogue turn toward you in the quiet of this night. Let the face that waited a week to come back to Thomas, specifically to be present when Thomas was present, turn toward you in the specific hour of your specific need. The shining is real, the turning is real, and the rest of the night is inside the shining of it. Let the Lord be gracious to you, the grace that arrived for the widow who had one handful of flour left, the grace that is sufficient for the last meal moment, that arrives precisely at the last meal moment, that transforms the last meal into the first meal of the provision that will not run out. Grace for exactly what remains. Grace for exactly what is left after the long season of the drought. Grace for the jar and the jug and the night and the morning. Let me stay with the grace for a moment. Grace is the word that covers the gap between what you have and what you need, the gap between where you are and where you need to be, the gap between the flour in the jar and the amount needed to sustain life until the rain comes. Grace covers the gap, not by pretending the gap is not there. The widow's gap was real. The flour was genuinely almost gone. The calculation was genuinely frightening. Grace does not deny the gap. It covers it. It bridges it. It says, I see the gap, and I am providing for the crossing of it. And what arrives on the other side of the gap will be the evidence that grace was sufficient. You have a gap tonight, maybe several. The gap between what you have and what you need. The gap between what is and what is required. The gap between who you are visibly being and who you were made to be. Grace is being released over every gap tonight, not to close all the gaps instantly, not to make the jar appear suddenly full, not to produce the rain before the right moment, to sustain the crossing of each gap, to be sufficient for each gap as it is encountered, to not run out before you reach the other side. You will not run out before you reach the other side. Let the Lord turn his face toward you. The turning that Jesus did in the synagogue, the turning of the teacher away from the general teaching and toward the specific person in the specific condition. The teaching can wait, the turning is happening now. His face turned specifically toward you, seeing past all the upright ones to the bent double one, calling you forward, saying, you are set free. And I want to say something about the face turning. The synagogue leader was indignant when Jesus turned to the woman and healed her. He said this should have happened on a different day. He was managing the resource of divine attention as if it were limited, as if the turning of the face toward one person meant the face was turned away from others. But divine attention is not a limited resource. The turning toward the bent double woman did not mean the turning away from everyone else. The face can shine on many. The calling can reach many. The specific can be simultaneously available to everyone who is the specific one, which is everyone who is here, in the specific condition that brought them here, needing the specific word for the specific now. You are the specific one tonight, and the face is turned toward you, without being turned away from anyone else. The specificity is infinite. Each person who receives this word is the specific one it was for. And tonight you are receiving it as the specific one it was for you. The face is shining toward you. Let the Lord give you peace, the peace of Thomas after the appearing, the peace of the one who received exactly what they needed to receive, who was given the specific encounter that their specific faith required, who moved from the specific doubt to the specific belief, not because they forced themselves to believe without the evidence, but because the evidence was provided specifically for them. My Lord and my God. That is what Thomas said after Jesus appeared to him with the specific invitation. Not the intellectual acknowledgement of a theological position, the response of the whole self to the specific encounter. My Lord, my God, the personal possessive, mine, not the general deity of the general tradition. My Lord, my God, the God who came back specifically to the room where Thomas was. The Lord who waited the week until Thomas was there to provide the specific encounter that Thomas needed. My Lord and my God, receive that tonight, in the quiet of this room, in the specific hour of your specific need, in the space that is left after the word arrived and the 5 stories were received and the rest is beginning. And I want to tell you what Jesus said after Thomas made his confession. He said, "Because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed." This is often read as a contrast, Thomas who needed to see versus the ones who believe without seeing. But I want to read it tonight as a continuum. Blessed are those who have not yet seen and yet believe. Not blessed are those who never need to see. Blessed are those who are in the between seeing space, who have not yet received the specific encounter their specific faith requires, and who are choosing in that space to keep the posture of the open, to keep the presence in the room, to keep coming back, even though the week has passed and the first appearing was missed. You are in the between seeing space tonight. You have not yet received the full specific encounter your specific faith requires, and you are here. You came back. You are in the room for this appearing, the appearing of the word, the night when the specific word was sent to the specific address of the specific person who needed it now, and the faith that holds the posture of the open, that keeps coming back even before the full encounter, that stays in the room even in the week between the first appearing and the second. That faith is the faith that is blessed. Blessed are you, tonight, in the between, in the winepress and the city gate and Lo-Debar, and the bent down and the absent from the first room. Blessed are you who have not yet seen what you are believing for, and yet the posture of the open has kept you here, in this room, for this word, at this hour. The encounter that your faith requires is coming. The second appearing is being arranged, and tonight's word is the first whisper of it. The get up and eat that comes before the journey. The command to the widow before Elijah arrives at the gate. The question, is there anyone, before the answer is found in Lo-Debar. The woman, come forward, before the straightening up. The put your finger here, before the my Lord and my God. Tonight is the before, and the before is the most sacred part of the encounter, because it is the space where the faith holds without the full seeing. Blessed are you who hold the faith in the before. My precious child, I want to speak some things over you as the night deepens and the sleep comes closer. Before the blessings arrive, I want to return to the beginning of tonight's word, the title, the promise it made. This video is not for everyone, only for the one who needs it now. I want to unpack that promise fully, because I think part of you has heard it and accepted it intellectually, but there is a deeper place in you that is still holding a question. The question sounds like this, but how can that be true for me, specifically? There are thousands of people who will watch this. How can it be specifically for me and not for everyone? Let me speak to that question directly, because it matters, and because the receiving of everything else tonight depends on the receiving of the answer to this. God does not operate at the level of the broadcast. He never has. When he spoke to Moses from the burning bush, there were other Israelites in Egypt. The bush did not broadcast a general message to all of them simultaneously. It burned for Moses, in Moses' specific location, in Moses' specific season, at Moses' specific moment of being 40 years in the wilderness, which was exactly the preparation that the assignment required. The burning bush was not for everyone in Egypt, it was for Moses. specifically only for Moses, in the winepress of the desert, at the moment of the word's prepared arrival. When he appeared to Elijah under the juniper tree and said, "Get up and eat, the journey is too great for you." There were other prophets in Israel. None of them received that visit. Elijah received it because Elijah was the one who was on the journey. Elijah was the one who had sat down under the juniper tree. Elijah was the one whose journey was too great. Elijah was the one who needed the specific food for the specific strength for the specific road ahead. The word went to the specific address of the specific need. The others were not lesser. They were simply not the ones whose specific situation called for that specific word at that specific moment. When Jesus walked through a crowd on the way to Jairus' house and stopped, saying, "Who touched me?" there was a crowd pressing around him. Many people were close. Many people perhaps grazed his cloak without intending to. But one person reached in a specific way, with a specific need, in a specific act of desperate, specific faith. "If I just touch his cloak, I will be healed." And the power went out from him specifically into her, not into everyone who was near him in the crowd, into the one who reached in that specific way, from that specific condition. The word finds the specific one, not by ignoring the others, but by knowing the specific address of the specific need. Everyone who needs what this word carries tonight is the specific one it was sent to. But that does not make it general, because you are not everyone who needs it. You are you, this specific person, in this specific condition, with this specific set of questions, and this specific wait, and this specific prayer you have been praying, and this specific thing you have been waiting for, and this specific moment in your specific story. And the word went to that specific address. Not to a demographic, to you. Not to people who are struggling, to the specific struggle you are carrying. Not to people who need encouragement, to the specific discouragement that has been working on the specific faith in the specific situation you have been in. The more specific the word is, the more specific the finding is. General words find general people. Specific words find specific ones. And this word is specific. 5 specific stories, each of which landed on a specific corner of your specific situation. Not because I knew in advance exactly what you are carrying, because the one who prepared this word knew. And the preparation of the word was the preparation of the specific address for the specific finding. You are found tonight, not as part of a general group of people who watched a video, as the specific one this specific word was prepared for. And the proof of it is not in the title. The proof is in the landing. The proof is in the specific resonance of the specific stories in the specific corners of your specific situation. The proof is in the fact that you are still here, still receiving, still in this room, because the specific word keeps the specific person. Receive that, fully, slowly, not as a theological proposition, as the personal truth of tonight. I am the one this word was for. I am found. I was the specific address. And the one who prepared this word and sent it to my address is here with me in this room, watching the receiving, present in the specific night that belongs to the specific appointment that was always going to happen. That is where the blessings come from tonight. From the one who prepared the word, and the finding, and the specific address, and the appointment. From that one, speaking the specific over the specific person in the specific night. But before the blessings, I want to name what was received tonight, not as a summary, as a receiving. Each of the 5 things, received slowly, one at a time, into the specific part of you that needed each one. You received the winepress word, the word that appeared specifically in the hidden season, that found you in the enclosed space of the season that has required secrecy and survival, that called you something you are not yet visibly being. You received, the Lord is with you, not the Lord is with people who are doing better than you, not the Lord is with people in better circumstances, not the Lord is with the ones who are out of the winepress already. The Lord is with you, in the winepress, right here, right now. This is the first thing you receive tonight, and it is the foundation for everything else. Receive it again now, slowly. The Lord is with you, in whatever enclosed season this has been, in whatever the hidden work has cost, in whatever the question from the winepress has felt like. The "if you are with us, why has all this happened?" that comes from the place of pain, not the place of theology. The Lord is with you in the place the question comes from, not the answer to the question, the presence in the question, with you. Let the phrase rest in you, without you having to do anything with it. You do not have to understand why the Lord is with you in the winepress. You do not have to resolve the question the winepress produced before the presence is allowed to be real. The presence is not contingent on the resolution of the question. The Lord is with you in the question, in the unanswered question, in the "if you are with us, why has all this happened" that you have been carrying without resolution. The presence is prior to the answer. The being with is prior to the explaining. And I want to stay a moment longer with Mighty Warrior, because that is not how Gideon experienced himself in the winepress. He experienced himself as a hider, as a person who had adapted the work of survival to the conditions of threat. He did not feel like a mighty warrior. The winepress is not where you feel mighty. The winepress is where you feel the exact opposite of mighty, the place where the mightiness of the situation has exceeded the felt capacity of the person in it, where the gap between what is required and what is available has driven the work underground, where the survival adaptation itself is the sign of how not mighty the situation has felt. And into that specific condition, not the triumphant moment, not the post-victory testimony, not the looking back from the other side of it, into the hiding itself, the word came and named him Mighty Warrior. I am naming it over you now. Not what you are visibly being in the winepress of this season, what you are, what the word sees when it looks past the condition to the person underneath it, what the word has been preparing to call you ever since the winepress season began. Mighty Warrior, in the enclosed space, in the hidden season, in the unanswered question, in the secret work of survival. Mighty Warrior, that is what you are tonight, and it is what you will be demonstrably on the other side of the going in the strength you have. You received the last meal word, the word that arrived at the most depleted moment, at the exact calculation of what remains when the remains are almost nothing. The command had gone ahead of you to the widow. The provision had been spoken into place before you arrived to receive it. The flour will not run out. The oil will not run dry. Not because the situation has changed, it has not changed yet, but because the word has arrived. And the word that arrived changes what the remaining flour and oil means. It is not the last meal anymore. It is the first meal of the season of provided for. Receive it again now, slowly. The flour will not run out. Whatever remains, the resource, the energy, the time, the relationship, the hope, will be enough. Not because the amount is sufficient in the ordinary calculation, because the command has been given and the provision is in motion. What appeared to be the last meal is the meal before the multiplication. The command is in place. The widow made the bread for Elijah first, in faith, before the miracle was visible, and the jar was still full in the morning. I want to slow down the economy of that moment. The widow had the flour. She had the oil. She had 1 meal's worth of both. And the word said, "Make the bread for Elijah first, before yourself and your son. Give from the last before you give from nothing." Not as a transaction, not give first and then you will get. As the act of obedience that opens the flow of the already commanded provision. The provision had been commanded already, but the act of faith was the act that is visible and operational. The jar did not become miraculously full before she made the bread. It was not used up when she made the bread. The oil was not produced from nowhere. It was not consumed from the giving. This is a different economy than the one you have been operating in. The last meal says, "If I give from what I have left, there will be less." The economy of the commanded provision says, what was commanded to sustain you was commanded before the amount you can see. You are not operating on the visible amount alone. You are operating on the commanded amount, which includes what was spoken into place before you arrived at this moment. And when the commanded amount enters the calculation, the math works differently. Give from the last in confidence. Make the bread in faith. The jar will be there in the morning. The oil will not be used up. The provision that was commanded ahead of your last meal is being released through the act that looks, from the outside, like the act of one who cannot afford to give. But from the inside of the commanded provision, it is the act that opens what was already there. Let this word go all the way down into the part of you that has been doing the calculation, the part that knows the number, the part that has been watching the number go down and doing the arithmetic of how long it can last. Speak the word into that part. The flour will not run out, not because I am ignoring the calculation, because there is a commanded provision that has not entered the calculation yet. And when it enters, the math changes. The jar is not empty in the morning. The widow and Elijah and her son ate for days, for as long as the famine lasted. The word that was commanded covered the entire span of the need, not just the first day. The provision that has been commanded for you covers the entire span of your need, not just tonight, the entirety. You received the Lo Debar word, the word that goes looking for the forgotten, the hidden, the lame, the one who has internalized the nothing of the place of nothing. The king asked, "Is there anyone?" And your name was the answer, not because you are the most qualified, because you are the one the king loves, for the sake of the covenant, for the sake of the Father's friendship, for the sake of the love that reaches across distance and lame feet, and the place called nothing to find the one who needs to be found. The table has been set. Your place is permanent. Always, every day, with the king's sons. Receive it again now, slowly. You have a place at the table, not despite Lo Debar. The journey from Lo Debar is the journey the king's invitation made possible, and the table you are going to is greater than the table you left in the hiding. Mephibosheth ate at the king's table, every day, always. The lame man from the place of nothing became the daily companion of the king. This is what the love of the covenant produces. This is what was spoken over you tonight, when the invitation reached Lo Debar, with your name on it. I want to stay with what Mephibosheth called himself when he came to David. He said, "What is your servant, that you should notice a dead dog like me?" A dead dog. That is how Lo Debar does its work in a person. The place of nothing, the hiding, the small existence, the absence of what was supposed to be the inheritance, teaches the person who lives there to call themselves dead dog, to internalize the nothing of the place as the truth about the self, to approach any invitation with the assumption that they are the least likely candidate, the one most unworthy of notice, the dead dog from the discarded place. And the king looked at the dead dog from Lo Debar and said, "You will always eat at my table." Not, "You will eat once, on probation, and then we will see how you do." Always, every day, permanently, without condition, without revocation, without the table being cleared before Mephibosheth has finished eating because someone better arrived. The table has his name on the seat. The king's steward knows him. The kitchen is prepared for him. The invitation stands every morning, regardless of what Mephibosheth contributed the day before, regardless of the strength in the lame feet, regardless of anything Mephibosheth can bring or withhold. The covenant between the father and the king covers the seat. The love covers the seat, and love does not withdraw the seat when the person has nothing to bring. You have a place at the table. You have always had a place at this table. The invitation is not new. It was made before you knew Lo Debar, before the hiding, before the lame feet. The covenant made the place before the need for it existed. And now the invitation has arrived at the address of the need, reaching Lo Debar, finding the one who called himself Dead Dog, saying, "Come," not because you have earned the place, but because the covenant placed the name in the seat before you ever had to earn anything. Come to the table. The king has been keeping your place since before you came looking for it. Tonight, you came looking. And the answer is always, every day, without condition, with love. You received the bent double word, the word of the calling from the crowd, the word that found the one who was below everyone else's line of sight and called her specifically forward. Woman, you are set free from your infirmity. The word that came not in response to your asking. You may have stopped asking, but in response to his seeing. He saw you, in the crowd, in the bent down, in the faithful despite the bending. He saw you, and he called you, and he put his hands on you, and you are set free. Receive it again now. Slowly, the straightening has begun. What has been bent for the length of time it has been bent. The word knows the specific number, the specific years, the specific duration of your particular condition, is being called into the upright position, not because you forced it, because you were called, because the healer's hands are on the specific thing and the word of freedom was spoken specifically into it. You are set free. Let the body begin to remember how it was designed to move. I want to name what 18 years does to a person, not just physically, though it does something physical, bending the posture, narrowing the angle of sight, making the world look different than it looks to the upright. 18 years does something to the understanding of the self. By year 2 of the condition, the person is still hoping to straighten. By year 5, the hope is thinner. By year 10, the condition has begun to feel like identity. By year 18, the woman in the synagogue may not have been hoping to be straightened. She may have arrived that Sabbath simply to do what she had been doing in the bent down for 18 years, to worship as best she could from the level she had been given, to participate in the community as best she could from the peripheral edge where the bent down live, to hold on to faith despite the unanswered prayer that by now she may have stopped praying. And Jesus called her, not the ones who could see him at eye level, not the ones whose upright posture communicated the health and the wholeness and the visible readiness, the bent down one. Specifically the one who had stopped expecting it, who had adapted to the condition, who had built a life around the condition, who had learned to be faithful from inside the bent double position because that was the position that was available. She did not push forward, she was called. My dear one, the calling reaches the bent double one. It does not wait for the one who has straightened themselves. It does not call the ones who have already figured out how to get from the condition to the healing. It calls the one who is still in the bent down, who came to the synagogue in the bent down, who has been worshipping in the bent down, who has been faithful in the bent down, who has been holding on in the bent down. The calling reaches you in whatever bent down position the condition of your season has put you in. You are set free, and the freedom, like the calling, comes from outside the condition. It comes through the hands of the healer, who was specifically looking for you in the crowd, who saw past the upright ones to the bent one, who called you by name across the synagogue and made a way for you to come forward. You are set free, the straightening has begun, the angle is changing. And the praise that comes out of the woman after the straightening, the spontaneous praise that does not wait to be instructed, is forming in you even now. You received the Thomas word, the word of the second appearing, arranged specifically for the one who missed the first and named what they needed to believe. The appearance is being scheduled. The encounter that your specific faith requires is coming. And tonight's word, this specific word, in this specific night, is the first part of the arranging, the first whisper of the second appearing. Put your finger here, see my hands, stop doubting and believe, not as a rebuke, as an invitation. The specific invitation to the specific person who named the specific thing they needed. You named it, it was heard, the appearing is coming. Receive it again now, slowly, my Lord and my God, your personal possessive, the God who came back specifically for you. The Lord who arranged the second appearing around your presence, who waited until you would be there to provide the encounter your faith requires. My Lord, my God, the personal, the specific, the arranged around you. I want to spend a moment in Thomas's week, the week between the first appearing and the second, the week that Thomas spent among the other disciples who were telling him what they had seen and he was hearing and not being able to receive, not because Thomas was uniquely hard, because Thomas had not been there, because the experience that had transformed the others was an experience Thomas did not have, and you cannot simply borrow another person's encounter to replace the encounter you personally need. The testimony of the other disciples was real. Their transformation was real. Their "we have seen the Lord" was the true report of the ones who had seen the Lord, and it was not enough for Thomas. Thomas needed his own seeing. I want to say that gently, because there is a reading of the Thomas story that uses it as a rebuke. Thomas who doubted while everyone else believed. Thomas who required evidence while the others took the testimony. But I want to read Thomas as the patron of the honest faith, the faith that names what it actually needs, the faith that refuses to perform a belief it does not yet have, because performing a belief you do not yet have is a kind of dishonesty with the one who made you. Thomas said what he actually needed. Unless I see the nail marks in his hands, and put my finger where the nails were, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe. Specific, honest, the exact terms of the encounter his specific faith required. And Jesus provided the exact encounter Thomas named. He did not provide a lesser version of it. He did not provide a general revelation and ask Thomas to extrapolate. He provided the exact terms. Put your finger here, see my hands, reach out your hand and put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe. The exact things Thomas said he needed, provided exactly, one by one, in the same room, with the same words Thomas had used to name them. My dear one, the honest prayer that names what you actually need, even if what you name sounds too specific, too physical, too much like you are writing a list of requirements for the divine. That prayer is the Thomas prayer. And the Thomas prayer was answered with the exact provision the Thomas faith named. Jesus did not rebuke the specificity, he provided it. Name what you need, my beloved. The encountering one hears the naming, and the appearing is being arranged around the specific terms of the specific faith of the specific person who is in the room. My Lord and my God, not the general deity of the general creed, the specific one who appeared specifically when Thomas was there. Your Lord, your God, personal, specific, here. Before the formal blessings, let me take you through the body once more. Let the body receive the 5 words in the way the body receives, not through the mind, but through the physical settling that happens when a word lands in the right place, the top of the head. Let the winepress word rest there. The Lord is with you, not down below in the enclosed hiding, but above it, surrounding it, covering the top of the season the way the heavens cover the earth, present above whatever the winepress looks like from the inside. The Lord is with you. The presence comes from above and settles into the top of you, flowing down through the head, through the face, through the neck, through the chest. A warmth, a covering, a presence that does not need to explain why it is there, only to be there. The Lord is with you. Let the top of the head receive it, the throat and the chest. Let the last meal word rest there. Do not be afraid. The throat is where the fear goes when you swallow it down, when the calculation is too much to hold in the open and the body compensates by tightening. Let the throat release. The chest, where the fear lives in the tightness between the ribs, in the shortened breath of the person who is bracing. Let the chest open. Do not be afraid. The flour will not run out. The oil will not be used up. The provision was commanded before you arrived at the calculation. The chest can release the brace. The throat can release the swallowed fear. Do not be afraid. Let these words move through the throat and the chest, and let the breath deepen. The hands. Let the Lodebar word rest in the hands. You will always eat at my table. The hands that have been reaching for things that were not there. The hands that have been working in Lodebar, at the capacity Lodebar made available. The hands that have been lame, in the way that Lodebar makes a person lame. Not necessarily in the feet, but in the reach, in the confidence of reaching, in the willingness to reach toward what was once the inheritance. Let the invitation come into the hands. The table is set. You are going there. These hands will eat the king's food at the king's table. Let the hands release what they have been holding in the long grip of the survival. The table is prepared. Come. The spine and the shoulders. Let the bent double word rest there. You are set free from your infirmity. The spine, which carries the weight of the bent down condition. The shoulders, which have been pulled forward by whatever the condition has been pulling forward. Let the spine remember the upright. Let the shoulders remember the back and the down. The healer's hands were placed on the woman, and she straightened. The hands are on you tonight. The specific thing that has been bending, the specific weight, the specific years of it, the specific way it has affected how you move and what you see, is being spoken free. You are set free. Let the spine lengthen in the rest. Let the shoulders roll back. The upright is the design. The bent down was the condition. The condition is being released. The eyes, and the place behind the eyes. Let the Thomas word rest there. Put your finger here, my Lord and my God. The eyes that have been looking for the appearing. The place behind the eyes, where the honest doubt has been holding. Not doubt of the faith, but doubt of the specific encounter the faith needs. The place where, unless I see, lives. Let the appearing come into that place. The Lord who came back specifically for Thomas, comes into the place behind the eyes, into the place of the honest naming of what is needed, and says, put your finger here. I am providing the specific encounter. It is coming. And for tonight, it is present in the word that arrived at your specific address. My Lord and my God. Let the word reach the place where it was needed. The eyes can close. The looking can rest. The Lord you have been looking for is in this room. Now, from the top of the covered head, to the settled chest, to the released hands, to the lengthening spine, to the resting eyes, let me speak over you. I speak over you the word that was spoken in the winepress. The Lord is with you, not with Israel in general, with you. In the specific enclosed place you have been working in the specific hidden season, in the specific below-the-ground threshing that has been your recent experience. The Lord is with you in the winepress, and the Lord is with you as you leave the winepress for the rest that follows. And the Lord will be with you when the assignment begins. Mighty warrior, not what you are visibly being tonight, but what you are, and what you will demonstrate yourself to be on the other side of the going in the strength you have. I speak this over the winepress season. I speak the Lord is with you into the enclosed space of the survival work, into the secret harvest, the below-ground work, the hidden effort of the person who is doing what needs to be done to keep going while the raider is still active. I speak mighty warrior over the person in the winepress, over the hidden one who does not feel like a mighty warrior tonight, who feels like a person holding on, who feels like a person doing the best they can in a condition that should not have lasted this long. The word names what you are. The winepress does not define you. The word does. And the word says, mighty warrior. I speak over you the word that was spoken in Zarephath. Do not be afraid. The word that precedes the miracle. The word that came before the flour held out and the oil held back from emptying. Do not be afraid in the last meal season. The provision is being released into the jar. The oil is being held in the jug. What appears to be the end of what can sustain you is not the end. The widow made the bread for Elijah first, and then for herself, and the jar was still there in the morning. The giving before the having, the act of faith before the seeing of the miracle, was the moment when the provision began, and you are in that moment tonight. The bread you make in faith before you can see the miracle is the bread that begins the miracle. I speak, do not be afraid over the calculation you have been doing, the counting of what remains, the knowledge of how long what is left can last, the fear that sits in the gap between what remains and what is needed. Do not be afraid in that gap. The command has already gone to the widow. The provision has already been spoken into place for the moment of your arriving. What you are calculating with is not what you actually have available. You are calculating with the visible resource only, and the invisible provision that was commanded before you arrived is not in the calculation yet. When it enters the calculation, the math changes entirely. The jar will not be used up. Do not be afraid. I speak over you the invitation of David. You will eat at my table, always. The lame man from Lo-debar is at the king's table. The one who called himself a dead dog is seated among the king's sons. The one who had internalized the nothing of the place of nothing is being given a place that requires no standing of his own, no strength in both feet, no merit beyond the covenant made between the Father and the King. The table is set for you tonight. You do not earn it. You are invited to it. Come, eat, always. I speak, you will always eat at my table over the hunger, over the season of Lo-debar that has produced the hunger, the specific hunger for the specific provision that the place of nothing cannot provide. The table the king has set is not the table of Lo-debar. It is the table of the palace, the table of the abundance, the table where the sons of the king eat every day, and your place there is permanent, not conditional on your performance, not revoked when the lame feet make the walking difficult, not contingent on your having something to bring to the table. The covenant holds the seat. The love of the Father keeps the place set. Come and eat. The invitation stands. I speak, is there anyone over the hiding? The specific question the king asked, the question that went looking for the one that should be found, the question that would not rest until the answer came back from Lo-debar. Is there anyone of the house of Jonathan to whom I can show kindness? That is the question that was asked before you knew you were being looked for. That is the question that set in motion the finding. The finding was not passive, it was active, it was searching. It was the deliberate effort of the love that was already held for the father friend to locate the one who carried the father's inheritance even in the place of nothing. I am speaking that question over your hiding tonight. Is there anyone? And the answer that comes back is your name, your specific name, in Lo-debar, found. And then, bring him to me, not when he is stronger, not when he has something to offer. Now, in the lame feet, in the Lo-debar, bring him, come, be brought. Let the king's provision carry you from the place of nothing to the table of the abundance. The invitation does not wait for you to become worthy of it. It comes to get you. I speak over you the calling of the bent double woman. You are set free from your infirmity, the specific infirmity, the specific bent double condition, the specific number of years. You are set free, not released gradually, not improved incrementally, not managed carefully through the condition until it becomes more bearable. Set free. The word of the release was spoken in the synagogue, and the woman straightened immediately, not over months, immediately. When the healer's hands are placed on the specific thing, and the word of freedom is spoken specifically into it, the response is the response of the thing that has been waiting for exactly this. The release that is not gradual, because the condition was not gradually arrived at, but was placed, and what was placed can be removed by the one who has authority over it. I speak over you the calling. Not just the freedom, the calling. The fact that he saw you in the crowd, that he called you specifically out of the crowd to come to him, that the calling was an act of deliberate attention, looking at a synagogue full of people and choosing the specific bent down one. Not the ones who are easy to see, not the ones who are already at the front, the one at the edge, at the level below the visible, the one who came in faithfulness in the bent double condition, and was seen in the faithfulness and in the condition together. Woman, you are set free. He did not say, get better first and then come to me. He called her as she was. He placed his hands on her as she was. The freedom came to the bent double one, not to the upright one. The calling reached her in the condition. This is who the healer looks for in the crowd. This is the one he calls out of the general gathering into the specific encounter. The bent double one who came in faithfulness. You came tonight, in whatever your version of the bent down is, and you are called, and the hands have been placed, and you are set free. Not from the symptom only, from the infirmity that produced the symptom, from the root of the condition, from the thing that has kept your posture at the level of the floor for the length of time it has kept you there. Straighten up. The calling has been spoken, and the body knows how it was designed to move, and it is beginning to remember, and the praise that follows the straightening is already forming in you, even if it is quiet yet. I speak you are set free over the specific thing that has bent you double, the specific weight of it, the specific years of it, the specific way it has affected how you move through the world, what you see and what you cannot see, what you reach for and what is out of reach, what has been your level and what has been above it. The woman who was bent double could not see what the upright people saw. 18 years of a different angle, 18 years of looking at the ground while everyone else looked straight ahead. The calling of her name is the beginning of seeing at the level she was designed to see at. Your name has been called tonight. The straightening has begun. The angle is changing. I speak over you the invitation of Thomas. Put your finger here. The specific encounter, the specific thing your faith needs, the specific proof your specific doubt has been requesting. The appearing is being arranged. The week has passed. The next gathering is being organized with your presence specifically in view. And when it happens, when the door opens again, when the appearing occurs, when the specific encounter that your faith needs is provided, you will know. And the response will be the response of the whole self, my Lord and my God. I speak put your finger here over the doubt, not dismissively. The doubt that names what it needs is the honest faith, the Thomas faith, the faith that does not pretend. I speak put your finger here as the invitation Jesus extended to the honest doubt. I heard what you said you needed. I have come back to provide it. The appearing is scheduled. The room is being prepared. Your presence is the reason for the timing. And when the encounter comes, when the finger goes where the nail was, when the hand goes where the side was, the response will come out of the whole self, not as a decision, but as an overflow. My Lord and my God, I want to speak one more thing into the Thomas space. The week. The 7 days between the first appearing and the second. That week was not wasted. Thomas did not spend a week in productive faith, while the doubt was quietly healing itself. He spent a week in the company of people who had seen what he had not seen, hearing what he could not confirm, living in the gap between their experience and his. That week was the between, and the between is one of the most specific places the word goes looking for the specific one. I speak over your between, whatever the length of your between. The between of the week that followed the first word and preceded the second. The between of the season between the promise and the provision. The between of the time between the calling out of the winepress and the morning of the departure. The between of the days between the gathering of the sticks and the rain. The between of the journey from Lo-debar to Jerusalem. The between of the moment of the calling and the full completion of the straightening. All of those betweens are sacred. The between is not the absence of the word. The between is the holding space of the faith that has not yet received the full visible confirmation, but is still in the room, still present, still waiting, still keeping the posture of the open. Thomas was in his between for a week. You may have been in yours for longer. The length of the between does not determine the likelihood of the appearing. It determines the depth of the my Lord and my God when it comes. The deeper the between, the deeper the confession that comes out of it. Thomas had been in the between longer than anyone else in the upper room. He was not there for the first appearing, so his between included the specific grief of the missed first, the weight of the week among those who had received what he had not, and the my Lord and my God that came out of Thomas after the second appearing is one of the most complete confessions of the whole New Testament. Not despite the between, because of it. The between had shaped the vessel of the confession to hold more than it could have held if Thomas had simply been there the first time like everyone else. Your between is shaping a vessel, and the Lord who appeared the second time, specifically for Thomas, is appearing in the Word tonight, the first whisper of the second appearing, the beginning of the preparing of the encounter your specific faith requires. Be in the room, keep coming back, the appearing is on its way. The night is keeping you now. Sleep inside the specific word that was sent for you tonight. Not for everyone, only for the one who needed it now. Sleep inside the winepress word, and the last meal word, and the Lo-Debar word, and the bent double word, and the Thomas word. All 5 of them together, speaking into every part of your specific situation, covering every corner of the specific condition you arrived with tonight. And I want to say something about what sleep does to a received word before I bring you fully into the rest, because it matters. Because the sleep is not simply the absence of the waking, it is an active thing that the body and the spirit do with what was given before it. The ancient text says, "He grants sleep to those he loves." That is a translation of a line that some scholars render, "He gives to his beloved in their sleep." In the sleep, not after the sleep, during it. The giving that happens in the sleep is a specific category of giving, different from the giving of the word that you receive consciously, different from the encounter you experience in the waking, different from the provision you can trace and name and follow with your waking mind. The sleep giving is given to the place below the waking, the place where the conscious filters are quiet, and what was spoken can go deeper than conscious receives. This is why Jesus could say, "Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed," because the work of faith happens partly below the level of seeing. The Thomas encounter was conscious, specific, eye level. But the consolidation of what Thomas received, the transformation of my Lord and my God, from a moment of encounter into the lived reality of a person who gave his life for what he saw, that consolidation happened in the days that followed, the sleep of the nights that followed, the integration of the specific encounter into the whole person across the span of time. What you receive tonight will integrate through the sleep. The 5 words are going to settle into the places they were sent to during the hours when you are not managing the settling, when the conscious mind has released its supervision of what is happening, when the spirit has room to do the work that the spirit does in the unguarded hours of the night. The winepress word will settle into the place that has been doing the below-ground work, not as a concept to be thought about, as a presence that is known, that is felt, that informs the morning from below the level of the morning's first thoughts. The last meal word will settle into the place that has been doing the calculation, not as an argument against the calculation, as a deeper knowing, a below-the-math certainty that the provision is commanded, that the jar is not going to be used up, that what was spoken into place before you arrived has not been revoked by the hours of the night. The Lo-Debar word will settle into the place that learned to call itself dead dog, into the self-understanding that the hiding season has been shaping, not as a lecture about self-worth, as the quiet, below-the-surface work of the invitation, going into the part of you that has been in Lo-Debar and saying, "You have a place, always, every day, come." The bent double word will settle into the part of you that has been holding the condition, into the specific place where the bending has been happening, not as a forced straightening, as the work of the healing hands that were placed on the specific infirmity, continuing in the sleep what they began in the waking, working in the unguarded hours, freeing in the deep what was held in the day. The Thomas word will settle into the place where the honest doubt has been living, not to erase the doubt, to companion it through the night, to be present with the naming of what is needed, to hold the appointment of the appearing in the sleep, to rehearse in the deep the "My Lord and my God" that will be the waking confession when the second appearing comes. 5 words, 5 corners. The whole of you covered by what was specifically sent for you. And the sleep is the incubation, the quiet, kept, protected space where the received goes deep enough to change what comes out in the morning. Go to sleep tonight in the keeping of the received. My dear one, let me take you slowly into the rest of the one who was specifically found, who was the one that the word went looking for, who is now on the other side of the finding, resting in the place that the found person rests. Every breath from this moment forward is the breath of the found, in, the breath of Gideon after the winepress altar, "The Lord is peace." The breath of the widow after the first bread was made and the jar was still full, "Do not be afraid." The breath of Mephibosheth at the king's table, "You will always eat here." The breath of the woman who has stood up straight, "Praise God, praise God." The breath of Thomas after the encounter, "My Lord and my God." All of those breaths, one after another, in and out. The accumulated receiving of 5 specific people in 5 specific moments at the edge of 5 specific needs, and your breath carries all of it now, because you received all 5 of those words tonight. They are yours, they are in you, and the breath distributes them. Let me stay with the breath for a moment, because the breath is the simplest miracle, and it is yours tonight, without any effort. The breath you are breathing right now is not something you decided to take. It is being breathed in you. The lungs fill because they are made to fill. The diaphragm drops because it is made to drop. The oxygen moves from the air through the membrane into the blood, and the blood carries it, and the cells receive it, and the whole system continues without a single conscious instruction from you. You did not manage the last breath. You will not manage the next one. The breath is being breathed in you by the one who made the breathable body and the breathable air and the mechanism of their meeting. This is what it means to be kept, to be a breathing creature, cared for from below the level of your awareness, sustained in a way that does not require your participation. The breath is the most constant physical evidence of the keeping, and every kept breath tonight is a breath that carries one of the 5 words in it, the word that was prepared for your specific situation before you knew you needed it, that was sent to your specific address at the specific now, that was received and is being distributed through the breath into every part of the specific you. In, the Lord is peace. Out, releasing the winepress. In, do not be afraid. Out, releasing the calculation. In, you will always eat at my table. Out, releasing Lo-Debar. In, you are set free. Out, releasing the years. In, my Lord and my God. Out, releasing the between. Breathe these slowly, one after another, the 5 breaths of the 5 received, and then let the rhythm of the kept breathing continue on its own, carrying the words into the sleep, distributing the received into the whole body through the night, integrating what was spoken before the morning comes. My dear one, the night is deep now. Let me take you into the rest the way a shepherd leads the flock into the fold at the end of the day, slowly, one by one, not rushing the last one through the gate, counting each one in, closing the gate behind the last one. You are the last one in tonight, and the shepherd is counting you in now, not missing you, not distracted by the others, watching you come through the gate and counting you in and closing the gate behind you. The fold is the rest, the sleep is the fold. The word that kept you tonight is the same word that keeps you in the fold. The shepherd who leaves the 99 to find the one, the king who asks, is there anyone? The one who appears the second time in the specific room of the specific person. That one is the shepherd keeper tonight, closing the gate, watching the sleep of the found, present through every hour of the kept night. Let the first sheep into the fold, the winepress. Let the season of the below-ground work rest. Let the vigilance of the person who has been watching for the raider lower itself. The fold is safe, the night is kept. The winepress season can sleep without the watchfulness that the winepress required, because the one who watches is awake and the fold is closed and the night is the night of the kept. Let the second sheep into the fold, the last meal calculation. Let the arithmetic of the remaining rest. The jar is in the fold, the oil is in the fold, the provision has been commanded, and the commanding does not stop at bedtime. The jar will be there in the morning. Let the counting rest. Let the third sheep into the fold, the Lo-Debar isolation. Let the hidden and forgottenness rest. The invitation has arrived. The name has been found. Lo-Debar is not the permanent address. It is the address the invitation was sent to in order to find the one who was there. And the finding has happened. And the one who was found is in the fold now, counted in, the gate closed, the night kept. Lo-Debar cannot reach into the fold. Let the fourth sheep into the fold, the bent double condition. Let the weight of the thing that has bent the posture rest. The healer's hands do not lift at bedtime. The word of freedom does not expire at midnight. You are set free in the fold, as completely as you were set free in the synagogue. Let the condition rest. Let the spine lengthen in the sleep. Let the shoulders hold themselves in the back and down. The posture of the freed is your posture now, even in the rest, even in the unconscious hours, even when you cannot actively hold the upright. Let the fifth sheep into the fold, the honest doubt. Let the naming of what is needed rest in the safekeeping of the night. The appearing is scheduled. The room is being prepared. The Thomas faith that names the specific need has been heard, and the hearing is not lost in the sleep. It is being held through the night by the one who came back specifically for the one who named the need. The appearing will come. Let the between rest. All 5 are in the fold. The gate is closed. The shepherd is watching. And you, my precious child, the specific one who was specifically found tonight, you are in the fold, and the fold is keeping you through all the hours of the dark. Let the body take inventory of what it is carrying right now. Not the inventory of the burdens, the inventory of the received. What is in you now that was not in you at the beginning of this video? The winepress word, the Lord is with you. That is in you now. The last meal word, do not be afraid. That is in you now. The Lo Debar word, you will always eat at my table. That is in you now. The bent double word, you are set free. That is in you now. The Thomas word, put your finger here, my Lord and my God. That is in you now. These are not small things. They are 5 specific words for 5 specific conditions, and every one of them is now resident in the person who received them. And they are going to continue working in you through the sleep. The mind will rest, and the spirit will integrate. The things you received consciously tonight will go deeper than conscious in the sleeping, and they will come back up in the morning altered, more established, more settled, more rooted in the particular way that sleep roots what was received before it. Let the breath be slow and deep. Let the eyes close. Let the mind release its hold on the day and on the question of tomorrow and on the inventory of the situation. All of that can wait until morning. The situation will still be there in the morning, and the morning person, the person who received these 5 words and slept inside them, will meet the situation differently than the tonight person who arrived carrying only the weight of it. In the morning you will be the person who was found on the specific night that the specific word was sent to the specific address, and that person meets the same situation differently. Not because the situation has changed overnight, it may not have, but because the one meeting it has received something that changes what is available in the meeting. Let me walk through the body one final time, slowly, the last inventory before the sleep takes over and the work of the integration begins. The top of the head, the crown, the place where the ancient blessing said, "The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace." Let that triple blessing rest on the crown. Kept, face shined on, grace covered, peace held. Let the blessing settle in from the crown downward, the forehead and the space behind the eyes. Let the mind receive permission to rest. The mind has been doing the work of the awake, processing, assessing, worrying, planning, replaying, projecting. The mind served you faithfully through the day and through the evening and through the receiving of this word. Now it can hand the work to what keeps the body in the sleep. The prefrontal quiets. The planning goes still. The space behind the eyes, which is where the between-seeing lives, which is where the Thomas waiting lives, let it soften. The second appearing is in the hands of the one who is arranging it. The planning of the meeting does not require the participation of the mind's night watch. Hand it over. Rest. The jaw, the teeth. Let whatever has been held between the molars, the tension of the held jaw, the biting down of the person who has been managing, let it go. The teeth are not required to hold anything tonight. The jaw can rest fully open, slightly apart, the breath moving freely between the lips, the whole of the lower face, the cheeks, the edges of the eyes, let them all soften. The shoulders, one more time, the shoulders are where the carried goes. The accumulated weight of the day and the week and the season, the carrying that has been structural, that the body has incorporated into its daily posture without even noticing. Because the carrying has been so constant, it has become background. Let the shoulders register the permission. You do not have to carry it in the fold. The fold keeps. The shepherd watches. The shoulders can drop. The chest, the lungs, in. The breath of the winepress word. The Lord is with you. Out, releasing the held question. In, the breath of the last meal word. Do not be afraid. Out, releasing the arithmetic of the remaining. In, the breath of the Lo Debar word. You will always eat at my table. Out, releasing the isolation. In, the breath of the bent double word. You are set free. Out, releasing the years of the condition. In, the breath of the Thomas word. My Lord and my God. Out, releasing the between seeing into the keeping of the night. 5 breaths, 5 words, 5 releases. The chest is open now. The ribs have dropped. The breath is slow and full and automatic and unmanaged. The belly, the gut. Let the anxiety that lives in the gut go quiet. The gut is where the unnamed dread lives, where the body holds what the mind has not yet processed, where the tension of the hard season has been most persistent and least conscious. Let the belly soften. Let the warmth of the rest move through the belly. The named things have been named. The received things have been received. The gut does not need to hold anything that has been placed in the hands of the keeping. The hands, open, palms up, receiving in the sleep what was spoken into them in the waking. The hands that have been working in the winepress. The hands that made the bread in faith. The hands that will reach for the table of the king. The hands that reach toward the straightening. The hands that hold the Thomas invitation, open, receiving. The legs, the feet, let them release into the weight of the rest. The feet that have been carrying you through the season. The lame feet that are being invited to the king's table, regardless of the lame. Let them rest. The journey from Lo-Debar has been long. The feet have earned the rest of the fold, completely settled now. Every part of the body found and covered. Every muscle receiving the permission to release. Every breath carrying a word into the sleeping. The heart's faithful beat continuing its kept work through the night, beating without your direction, kept by the one who holds the heartbeat in existence each time it beats. Rest. Let the body be completely settled now. Every muscle releasing. Every breath slower than the one before. The heart beating its faithful, quiet, unmanaged beat in the center of the chest. The lungs filling and emptying without effort. The mind growing still the way a river grows still when it reaches the deep lake, the motion becoming depth, the depth holding everything that the motion was carrying, quietly and without the energy of movement. I want to speak one final thing before the deep takes you. The 5 people we visited tonight, Gideon, the widow of Zarephath, Mephibosheth, the woman bent double, Thomas, none of them knew, in the moment of their specific encounter, what that encounter was going to produce in them. Gideon did not know he was going to lead 300 men with torches and trumpets into the greatest rout of the ancient record. He was in the winepress, talking to what appeared to be a stranger. The widow did not know she was going to sustain a prophet through the rest of the famine. She was making the last meal. Mephibosheth did not know he was about to become a permanent member of the king's household. He was a dead dog from Lo-Debar. The woman bent double did not know that her straightening was going to become a teaching moment that would be written down and read for thousands of years. She was called from the crowd. Thomas did not know that his honest confession of doubt and the appearing that followed it would make him the patron of every honest faith that has come after him. He was in the room, 8 days after the mist appearing, with the specific words of his specific doubt still in the air. They did not know. They received, and the receiving was the beginning of what they did not yet know was coming. You do not know what tonight's receiving is going to produce in you. You do not need to know. The one who prepared the word knows what it was sent to do, and the doing of it does not require your understanding of the full outcome. It only requires your receiving, and you received tonight. You received the winepress word, and the last meal word, and the Lo-Debar word, and the bent double word, and the Thomas word. You stayed, you were open, you received. And what the receiving is going to produce in you, what this specific night, in this specific season with this specific word was the beginning of, that is being prepared on the other side of the sleep, in the morning, in the next appointment, in the obedience that follows the encounter, in the going in the strength you have, in the making of the bread, in the being brought to Jerusalem, in the standing upright in the synagogue, in the putting your finger here. You will know it when you get there, and it will be the specific version of what this specific night was the beginning of. For now, sleep, be in the fold, let the shepherd keep you. Rest in the deep now, in the specific deep of the specifically received. The 5 words are with you in the deep. The Lord is with you in the winepress of the night. The flour will not run out in the night. The table is set, and your place is permanent, and the sleep is the meal at the table tonight. You are set free, even in the bent double position of the sleeping body. The freedom operates independently of the position. My Lord and my God is the confession that is in you even in the sleep, even in the unconscious hours, even when you cannot form the words. The Spirit in you knows the confession, and it is continuous. Be still, my precious child. The night is long, and the keeping is real, and the sleep is full of the 5 words, and the morning is coming. And in the keeping of the night there is a particular quality of stillness that is available only in this specific space, the space between the receiving and the morning. The space of the held and the watched, and the not yet but more than before. The winepress altar was built in the dark, before the victory. The widow's jar was full in the morning, after the night. Mephibosheth woke up in Jerusalem for the first time, having arrived under the king's provision. The woman bent double went home upright, into the rest that follows the straightening. Thomas stayed in the room, in the night of the between, and the morning brought the appearing. The night between the receiving and the morning is its own sacred thing. Be in it fully. Let it keep you fully. Let me speak a word over the morning before you go into the sleep that precedes it. The morning is coming. Whatever the morning looks like, whether the situation has visibly changed or has not, whether the provision is visible yet or is still in the between, whether the second appearing has happened or is still being arranged, the morning is coming. And the morning person who wakes up is not the same person who arrived at this video tonight. The tonight person arrived carrying only the weight. The morning person will wake up carrying the weight and the 5 words. The weight has not necessarily changed, but what is also present with the weight has changed. The 5 words are in the morning person. They went into the sleep. They were distributed through the breath. They were integrated in the kept hours of the night. And the morning person who meets the situation meets it as the found, not as the lost, as the covered, not as the exposed, as the specifically addressed, not as the overlooked. And the morning person has something the night person did not have, the evidence of the keeping. The evidence that the night was watched over, that the fold held, that the shepherd was there, that the morning came, that the bread Elijah left beside the sleeping prophet was there when he woke up. Get up and eat. The journey is too great for you. Get up and eat. The morning will have bread. Not necessarily the full provision of the end of the journey, just the bread for the next part of the journey, the specific strength for the specific next step. The widow's jar holds the flour for tomorrow's morning, as surely as it held it for tonight's. The keeping that was real in the night is real in the morning, and the morning bread will be there when you wake up. I want you to know this before you sleep. The morning is already being prepared. The provision for the morning was commanded before the night began, the same way the provision for the widow was commanded before Elijah arrived at the gate. The morning's bread is already in the jar. You do not have to generate it. You have to wake up and receive it. Get up and eat. The journey is too great for you. Not too great for the one who prepares the journey provision, just too great for you to travel on your own strength. And the provision is there. The bread by the head, the jar of water. Get up and eat. Go into the sleep now knowing that the morning bread is already commanded. The morning appointment is already prepared. The morning version of the 5 words is already being set in order. And the morning person who wakes up will find it. The way Elijah found the cake baked on coals and the jar of water. The way the widow found the jar still holding flour. The way Mephibosheth found the table set with his name on the chair. The morning is ready for you. And into the morning I send you with these last words before the sleep takes over completely. You are the one tonight, not one of many who received a general word. The one who the specific word was specifically sent to. The specific address, the specific hour. The specific 5 stories for the specific 5 corners of the specific condition you arrived carrying. And the one who sent you this word is not done with you at the end of the receiving. The sending continues. The appointments that come after tonight were prepared alongside this appointment. They are in the sequence. They are on their way. They are going to arrive at the specific addresses of the specific hours of the specific needs that are still ahead of you. Tonight is the beginning of a series of specific word to specific person appointments that the one who prepared this word has been arranging since before you knew you needed them. Tomorrow is the next appointment. You do not know yet what it will look like, whether it will be a person, a provision, an open door, a word spoken in conversation, a phone call, a quiet knowing that comes while you are doing something ordinary. But it is on its way, and I want to prepare you for how the tomorrow appointment might arrive, because the appointments that come after the wine press encounter, after the last meal provision, after the Lodebar invitation, after the calling out from the bent double, after the specific appearing for the specific faith, those appointments do not always look like what we expect them to look like. Gideon woke up after the wine press encounter and had to learn how to be the mighty warrior. It did not happen overnight. He was tested. He was asked to tear down his father's altar in the night because he was afraid to do it in the day. He was given a smaller army and a smaller army until the 300 remained, not because the 300 were special, but because the 300 would know that the victory was not theirs. He held the torch and the trumpet, but not the sword, because the victory was not going to be the victory of the sword. And then the host of Midian ran. The tomorrow appointment may look like a smaller army than you expected. It may look like a more specific instruction than the grand plan you were hoping for. It may look like, tear down the thing in the night, with just the men in your household, quietly, before the morning. Not the dramatic, the specific, the obedient before the dramatic. And the obedient before the dramatic is the appointment that precedes the host of Midian running, that precedes the torches and the trumpets, that precedes the demonstration of the word that was spoken in the winepress. The widow's tomorrow appointment was making the bread, specifically for Elijah first. One small act of faith, the first act in the series of acts that would constitute the miracle. Not, tomorrow you will see a field of wheat appear. Tomorrow, make the bread and bring it to the stranger, and then make some for yourself. The small, specific, faithful act that opens the flow of the already commanded provision. Mephibosheth's tomorrow appointment was being brought to Jerusalem, riding in the provision of the king's invitation, being carried even by the resources the king sent to bring him. He did not have to generate his own journey. The king sent for him. The tomorrow may look like, receive. Allow yourself to be brought. Let the resources of the invitation carry you to the table, rather than trying to make the journey under your own strength with lame feet. The bent double woman's tomorrow appointment was standing upright in the synagogue in front of the people who had just seen her straighten. She had to inhabit the new posture in front of the audience that had known her in the old posture. She had to let the praise come out of her spontaneously, without managing it, without making it appropriately modest. She had to be the visible miracle. The tomorrow appointment may look like, let them see you upright. Let the praise come. Do not manage the evidence of the straightening in order to appear appropriately humble. The straightening is the testimony, and the testimony is the appointment. Thomas's tomorrow appointment was being in the room when Jesus appeared, just being there, present. After the hard week of the mist appearing and the other disciples' testimonies and the honest naming of what was needed, being present in the room, that was the entire appointment. Just be in the room. The appearing came to where Thomas was. Your tomorrow appointments will be specific. They may be small before they are large. They may be interior before they are visible. They may require an act of faith, the giving before the having, the making of the bread before the jar is proven not empty, before the provision is visible, but they are on their way. They are being prepared, and tonight's word has prepared the specific you who will receive them. The word is being prepared for the specific condition of tomorrow's specific moment. The same precision that placed this word in your feed at this hour is being applied to what comes next. The one who prepared this word did not exhaust the precision in the preparing of it. The precision that assembled the 5 stories for the 5 corners of your specific situation. That is a precision that does not run out when it has been applied once. It applies to the next day, to the next appointment, to the next provision, to the next encounter. The same care that made this word specific to you is being applied right now, in the hours of this night, to what comes tomorrow, and the day after, and the specific series of specific appointments that the specific you needs for the specific season you are being brought through. You are in a series. Tonight is not an isolated event, a one-time moment of specific care in a generally uncared for life. It is one appointment in a series, and the series continues, and the word for tomorrow's appointment is already being prepared with the same precision that prepared tonight's. And the word for the day after is already being shaped around the specific condition the specific you will be in on that day. The care is continuous. The precision is ongoing. The love that prepared this word does not take a break between appointments. Go to sleep in the confidence of the next appointment already being arranged. The mighty warrior goes in the strength they have, and the strength is there, and the sending is real, and the going will reveal the provision that the going was promised. The jar will not run out on the way to where you are going. The table is set at the end of the journey from Lo-Debar. The straightening is still in progress, and the morning will find it further along than tonight. And the appearing that your faith specifically needs is scheduled, and the date of the scheduling is known to the one who is doing the scheduling, and it is closer than the week between the first and the second appearances felt to Thomas. You were the one. This message found you, and the one who sent it is present in this room, watching over the sleep of the found, keeping what was received through the night and into the morning. My Lord and my God, receive that as the last thing before sleep, not as a performance, as the quiet, whole self-acknowledgement of the person who was found tonight by the one they have been looking for. The Lord, my God, the God who appears in wine presses, who commands widows, who asks, "Is there anyone?" who calls across the synagogue to the bent double one, who waits a week and then comes back to give the specific encounter, the specific faith required. That is who is in this room right now, and that is who will be here through every hour of the night and in the first light of the morning. Good night, my precious one. You are the one this word was for, and the one who sent it loves you with a love that the word can only gesture toward, never fully carry. A love that prepared this word before you knew you needed it, that sent it to your specific address, that stayed for the receiving, that is present in the room right now, that will be present through every breath of the night ahead. The love that is in this room is not the love that arrived when the video started. It has been here. It was here before the video, before the night, before the need that brought you here, before the wine press season that produced the condition, before the last meal calculation that reached the last meal, before Lo-Debar, before the bent double, before the mist first appearing. The love preceded all of it. The love is the context in which all of it is happening. The wine press is inside the love. The last meal is inside the love. Lo-Debar is inside the love. The bent double is inside the love. The between appearances is inside the love. The love is the field in which the conditions are conditions, temporary, specific, and held by the permanence of the love that does not change when the conditions change, that does not vary when the season varies, that does not run out when the calculation runs out, that does not hide in Lo-Debar when you hide, that does not bend when you are bent, that does not miss the appearing when you miss it. The love is here in this room, completely, permanently, for you specifically, the one who was found tonight. Let it cover you through the sleep. Let it be the last thing you are aware of before the deep takes you. Loved, found, kept, the specific one of the specific love in the specific night that was prepared for this meeting. Good night, my beloved. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace, tonight and every night. Good night.